Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
Why must
those my guys. That's Red Letter Media right there.
Why must you always be so negative?
Why did you cross the road?
Old school, baby. I try to combine the two, but it's not working. DJ Longair here in the house, feeling a little bit better, still congested AF, but getting over it. I'm gonna, while I get into this cough fit for a second and try to mute myself, I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourselves. So let's start with Superfast Tortoise. Work your way to, I guess, to your right with your or left if you're watching. So Superfast Tortoise, welcome
just
back.
Before we get into that, make sure everybody stays muted and stuff. You know, we seem to, get back feed from time to time.
For sure. So Superfast Tortoise, newer channel on the scene. Love Ninja Turtles and of course your video game system behind you. Tell us a little about your channel and pass it on to Pat.
All right, my channel is obviously about Magic for most people who know about it. I do a show called MTG3 where I just talk about 3 cards I like from whatever set, varying the day, how I feel. Other than that, I just have fun with my channel and make videos, mail openings whenever they come in. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, and it's great stuff too. If you guys haven't seen it, go ahead, click that like and subscribe on a couple of his videos. They're super entertaining. Unlike me, I get real boring over on my channel. Long form discussions, philosophy of Magic, where the game's going, where it's been. We like to talk about finances because, as you can tell, this can get expensive. Like, look at it, Ed's background. Geez, Louise guy, look at you balling out.
I think you said your balls are out.
I'm trying to shut off to turn on the microphone. I shut off the camera, but yeah, I'm chilling in my den here, just hanging out. Anyway, yeah, kind of the same thing. Discussion, Magic cards, vintage, market, that type of stuff. No doubt.
All right, Gamingbob, welcome back. I see you got a money portal behind you.
Yeah, it's the money black hole. It's magic.
Yeah,
but I mean that's still been sort of the theme, and I've heard other channels kind of poo-pooing on Unfinity, which I am here to actually cut against the grain. I am all about Unfinity, folks. I am excited about it, and I'm gonna tell you why tonight.
So you're saying you're actually pro-finity?
I am pro-funfinity.
Or is it punfinity?
Sure.
Funfinity?
Sounds like
Funfinity
confetti.
and beyond. Nice. All right, Prime 406, welcome. First time on the channel, and you're a fairly newer channel. Like, what, you got 12 subscribers? We got to pump up your numbers a little bit, buddy.
We're at 15 now, thanks to you guys.
Oh, hey now.
Hey,
I remember when it started, bro. Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm Prime 406. I kind of just like every other Timmy out there. I like to go buy everything Wizards is selling, and not really, no. But yeah, I just crack stuff and a little bit of flex right there. That's my case. Lots of expeditions, and I know you can't really see all that much, but I'll show it off one day.
Nice. Love a little Boba Fett and Stormtrooper over there. Hell yeah, brother.
Yep, and I got my Transformers. You know, some of them.
Hell yeah.
So
nice. All right.
Thanks for having me.
We'll get you wrenched here soon, bud, so you can post your own links because I'm lazy AF. Ashen, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic night.
Kicking ass. Just got back from acupuncture. Nothing like getting stabbed by a random dude with a bunch of needles.
Hey, you know, it's
well, at least you have the needles this time.
At least that's what they say. Yeah.
Luckily he was wearing a mask, so I could not identify him later.
That's right.
But yeah, so they so over on my channel we pretty much do a lot of the same kind of deal. Opinion pieces, we talk about the market, we talk about new sets that come out. Sometimes I crack product, but to be honest, much like everybody is going to explain it, Magic the Gathering is a black hole of money, and trying to find what you should invest in is a important thing. So but yeah, that's me. We're we were just at like 400 subscribers, I think, like maybe a week and a half ago. Now we're almost at 450, and we're gonna do a giveaway at 500, but I have to make a video for that now. So
oh yeah. Well, cheers everyone. I got my purple Jake. Cheers, buddy.
Purple rain, purple rain. That's all I got. It's
Well, usually depending on the karaoke crowd, I'll say Vane instead. Just throw them off.
So odd thing in case weird hack. I learned this when I was overseas for a little bit. When it comes to karaoke, how it picks up is if you're really loud. So if you're just drunk and yelling, karaoke thinks you're doing good.
Yeah, it depends on the crowd, but okay, bro.
I thought that's what karaoke meant in Japanese. Loud, drunk yelling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like a karaoke host and go and all that fun stuff, and of course, I think I sound the best when I'm completely plastered, but not always works that way. But I can actually sing. So hello, MTG Cardz in review. Good to see you, bud. Drip, welcome back. Kate Torque, what's good? Pack opening addict. Been a minute, man. Oh damn, you guys are doing Commander tomorrow. I'm so jelly. Or Saturday. I'll probably be at work. Ah, man.
Yeah. I play with Pack Opening Addict every couple of weeks.
That's cool.
He's honestly a really good player, and I fucking hate it because I want to be nice to the guy, but he's like playing a solid Go Shintai deck, and it's like I'm just gonna have to disenchant all your shit. But you invited me. It's like the guy that brings pizza, and then you talk about how shitty his game is. It's
well, just play Aura Shards and that new creature Aura Shards out of Dominaria. What's the one? The new one?
That's a good question.
It's a green creature that's basically Aura Shards on a stick. I think.
I think you're talking about Silverback Elder.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think so.
I still haven't pulled him yet.
I still like that guy. I think he's gonna do well. I don't think he's the Elder Gargaroth by any stretch, but
so that's what's weird is honestly that's my internal comparison, and I think Silverback Elder is better than Elder Gargaroth, just because it's on creature ETBs. So when you're storming off, trigger, you only get one attack. You only get one block with Elder Gargaroth. I don't know. It's difficult.
They're two different things, but I think that they're both good
on
cards.
Saturday at 7 p.m. and we'll figure out a sleeve cell shred kind of deal on that bad boy.
Fair. Couple. What's up, Mecca? Jira. How you doing, bud? All right. Brian Giles, good to see you, buddy. Tom Mitchell, thank you for showing up. And Justin Clement, what is good? You haven't played Go Shintai for a while there, huh, Pack? Oh boy. Gotta love them shrines, huh? All right. So we got Unfinity coming out right out the backs of Dominaria United. Not even a chance to get my fat pack yet, and I'm already tripping that I have to get the next set. I'm like, bro, I usually get a couple set, a fat pack, and maybe a collector's. And no, rush. It's like, bro, dude,
yeah, man, it doesn't freaking stop. Like, the black hole for your money for real.
This coming month, we have Unfinity, the Warhammer decks, and the Game Night set.
Well, that's what's so weird is that Unfinity is at this point, it was supposed to come out April. So we're 5, and behind. It'll be 6 months delayed. So I think this congestion, the addition of such a delayed product helps make that not work correctly, which I still don't know if we have a good reason why Unfinity was delayed. Speculation begin. But on top of that, the Warhammer decks, this was so ancillary of a product that I'm glad it's been accepted as well as it has been. I love that they put juice in these decks. I love that they are worth the price that they are getting for them now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're nuts.
I mean, that's the whole point. They're backing up the price, so they need to have to make it worth it, right? This is the first time they're doing $60 decks, right? Yeah. So the question is whether they're going to follow through with this on the Doctor Who decks, or if they're just going to pull Wizards and all of a sudden they're trash again.
But the deck list,
aren't they charging $600 for isn't MSRP on the 600 for the
MSRP.
It seems like it's going to be like 150.
You your old man antiquated term.
No, you know what I mean, though. You know what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, it seems like 150 per deck. Right now, they got sold out everywhere, and they're getting scalped for 800 for the set.
Wow. Yeah, because I think there's going to be a limited run on it.
Particularly bonkers when you come to think that what you're getting is surge foil, a very particular type of foiling process. Which honestly, Ed, if you haven't seen surge foil, Ed, I think you'd really like that.
I saw it. They've done it stuff like that in the past.
Yeah, it's similar to the
it's cool
style.
I like the treatment, but I'm not gonna pay ridiculous amounts of money for something like that when I can just buy.
That's the thing right there. You know, so the addition of surge foiling lands, you're paying such a high premium. Where as a lover of 40K, I'm all about the lore. If you decide you want to go ahead and put Spacek lands from Unfinity, boom, one of those space lands, super cheap, even foiled out, tricked out, it's going to end up saving you so much money by not buying the sealed product. And that's what's odd about this is for commander decks. I was just talking with Pawz about this. Speculation on sealed decks. Is that a place to go? And for me, it just seems like a bigger money pit. And it's harder and harder to store. I've had the conversation with Bob a number of times. Some of these products, even sealed boxes, Eternal Masters, with these jaggy angles and stuff, how are you going to keep all these commander decks for a long time?
I mean, that's where Amazon comes in, right? They have those new ones that come like this big. Like
for the longest time, Pat, I didn't get into any of this product, and like I avoided it and everything, but it's looking like that was just a bad decision, man. Like all of it has gone up, all of it, in like and substantially too. It's not just like 10-20%. It's all multiples. It's kind of ridiculous at this point.
I still, though, Ed, we've had this conversation. I still think there are faster ponies in the race, right?
Of course, but those are proving to be, better competitors than I thought they were. Put it that way.
Are you talking about the commander decks?
Yeah, since 2014, it's ridiculous.
Well, but I mean, you're kind of comparing apples and oranges there. The
True.
older commander products were far fewer in number. They had such strong cards that we're not even seeing them reprinted in master sets like Dragon and Edgar Markov. Some of these really high dollar ones. They know it, and you're not seeing anything akin to those in these new decks. To be honest with you, the Warhammer 40K. If you are not a fan of Warhammer 40K, I'd stay away from it, because if you get caught with your nipples in the vice here, meaning you buy an $800 set of decks and it just creeps up a percentage over the years. Look, Dragon's May is still not a great investment, guys. If you would have invested on anything else around it, you would have done better. So there are things that move faster in appreciation than others in a relative block for your money.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, right now, it feels suppressed because let's talk about it. Let's call the elephant in the room. The economy is having a serious impact on Magic right now. Look at all the flash sales that you're seeing of ridiculous prices. Like I saw AFR collector boxes for $119, $79 for Dominaria United set boxes. I mean, it's like, wow, these people are fire selling.
Oh, bro,
I'm
bummed I missed out on Baldur's Gate collectors for $119. Obviously not available now, but I was like, bro, I wouldn't mind, At that price, it's not too horrible to not get your freaking.
I need a few more blisters, man. More blisters.
I'll say this though, it just feels like it's we're in this long dark tunnel until we aren't anymore. It's just like any time that you invest in anything, you want to basically invest on the way down, not on the way up.
Right. It's going to turn hard, man. Like I've been seeing some things recently, looking at prices for videos and certain things. It's kind of crazy, like 7th edition foils, Arabian Nights cards. It's ridiculous. The inventory that's out there is just so low. It's ridiculous.
I'll tell you, the two products that still stand out to me, just head and shoulders above everything else, that are just undervalued at the moment, and you can still go out and get them, is Double Masters 2022 is still underpriced. I think MH2 still way underpriced. And I saw a set box for like $179 on a flash sale. I'm like, that's cheaper than it's ever. Dude, I'm telling you,
Double Masters had its hype taken away and like stolen from it. It deserved more attention for longer, and in any other time it would have done better. It's crazy that it even got as low as it did. And it's
and then it is where it is now. I think that the Double Masters 22 collector right now is oddly similar to the trend of the original Double Masters VIP, where it came out, spiked up,
dropped by
dribbled down a little
20%.
bit. And I mean, right now, let's call it 310. That's probably going price on a Double Masters 22 collector's box. 300, 320. That's about our area. That's still really friggin' decent.
Yeah.
I mean,
for what's in it, yeah.
I mean, anguished unmaking issues or whatever, you know, I don't care. When you pull a nice foil etch for Rexian Altar, you got your fucking money.
And again, something I was looking up prices for recently. I was looking at retail prices and buy list prices for etched cards, and I'll tell you, a lot of the times it's the same. Normally you're seeing like at least a third of a difference, you know what I mean? They got to make money in between their buy list and retail. But with the etched cards, it's right about the same, meaning I think that they're underpriced.
Well, and right there, free content for anybody that wants to make it. Double Masters 22 collector packs, the foil etch cards. It's kind of like the underdog of that whole race right now.
Yeah.
I mean, textured
think
foil.
the whole set's undervalued per seal.
Pulled the texture Kozlik. It was like $250 the second I had it. Ooh, I was shaking. Now it's like $150.
Yeah,
that's
almost a full one in my case. So.
Buy list on the textured Ulamog is $91. That's crazy low.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just not sell it like a smart Magic player.
Keep it.
Yeah,
it's all perspective, folks. Even with MH2, like you have down there for pack opening addict, that there's a reason that current MH2 boxes are selling so cheap. It's because of supply. They printed it a lot, but that doesn't take away from the strength of the cards in that set. And over time, you know, these supplies are going to dwindle, just like any other set that's been printed a lot. And this set has a lot of bangers in it. It is a proven set. Over time, MH2 is going to do well, no matter how much of it they printed.
Yeah.
Hold on, real quick.
What Bob is saying right now, it's just going down because the singles have been open so much that they're going down on the market, but they're starting to creep. As the product dries up, it will go up, you know, as long as once it stops getting opened.
Prime, you were trying to get a couple words in. Go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, MH2, like POA said in the comments, the last box I opened to that, god awful.
Yeah.
I didn't record it. I was just chilling. I just sat, I was just sitting here. I'm like, I'll crack it. One fetch. None of the elementals.
Oh.
The list was just garbage. I really wish I
would have aggravated.
No. Well, slightly aggravated, yeah. But I was, there's a reason. There's so much of it out there. They changed the way that the set, because, for release weekend, dude, you're getting six fetches a box. I've seen it. It's crazy.
Well, honestly, unless you're opening like a couple of cases, that's just variance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like if you would have seen my Double Masters 2022 box, I opened one collector of it. That's it. I did it with my mom. I wanted to open some, and it was $112 for the entire box.
Like everything. I opened
it was
2
bad.
bundles of MH2. One of them had like 5 fetches in it, and the other one had none. It's like, it just happens.
It just happens,
Double Masters 22 draft boxes seem to be solid across the board in almost every video. I don't think I've seen a Double Masters 22 draft box that wasn't by weight worth its fucking money.
Justin.
All I was trying to point out is that right now prices are suppressed. Don't lose the sight of the trees through the forest here, man.
Right.
Meaning, it just feels like Magic is going down. It's not. This is the time. Like, look at Lorwyn. Look at any time you have these dips, and then the people that bought and held are sitting pretty. And
every time,
do the same thing.
Every time there's a buyout and a spike, there's always a lull afterwards, and it always feels like this every freaking time. It's been happening since 2014. So,
Honestly, it's been happening since I've been in 1994. Like, if you want to talk about bad, like, holy shit, when Chronicles came out and then hit by Fallen Empires, followed on by freaking Homeland, people were like, this game sucks. It's just going to die. And I sold out. I sold 40 dual lands plus Legends cards like Scheherazade, my entire collection. 40 dual lands in there. $250 in 1997. I had a play set of duels. And I mean, I had all kinds of shit in there. But no betas or alphas are unlimited. But no, I had unlimited dual lands in there. At any rate, that's what the climate felt like, even in 1997, folks. And then right around the corner from that, Alliances came out and it recovered. And then you have the dip in the early 2000s and got all the way into the Lorwyn block where they underprinted and everybody was going away and going to MTGO. And then look at Lorwyn now. You have these ebbs and flows, but this is the dip. This is what it looks like and what it feels like. It feels like shit. Like, I don't want to buy anything because it's going down. That's what it's like in the stock market too.
This is the time to buy old stuff. It really is.
And Alex, that's something I wanted to ask you. Do you worry about singles? I know that you from time to time look at that kind of a market. Is that something you worry about buying into with how much reprint equity we see in products nowadays? Where, we had $10 cards that are now $2. Thank you, Double Masters.
Yeah, I mean, I think reprints being the way they are, I think the big thing is to also look at more so at the original printings as far as like true, like actual, like investing in card in singles go. The original printings are going to be the better one because as the time's gone on, and as we can see with every new product that comes out, it doesn't matter what kind of foiling process is on there, right? It doesn't matter how beautiful the card is. If there's less of the original printing and more of the reprint, then the one with the less amount on the market is going to be going for more. But I don't think that that's the place to go. I think it's good for players, right? At the end of the day, right? I am happy to see that players are getting more and more to add to their collections, to add to their decks, instead of having to, drop $40 on a play set of a card. They can instead drop $15, and that's better for the long run of the game. But I think, when it comes down to like collecting, collectors are going to want the original version, and investing, investors are going to want the original version. And I think the singles market is kind of like hit or miss, but
it really comes down to the person. Like, it's going to come down to like how common is that original version? Are there like newer, really fancy versions? And then it's down to like the collector's preferences.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's also tied into like the fact that if somebody likes a card, because if people like the Faithless Looting from Mystical Archives because it was a meme for a while, then that card is going to hold preference to people. Does that mean it is going to spike in price? No, right? That's like saying Dogecoin was a thing that was great, right? Like it's all jokes at the end of the day. But I truly think that if you are going to do anything in regards to singles, that the original versions are just going to be the better thing to look into regardless. But if you have a favorite, right? I mean, don't just be like, oh, I love the Godzilla collection, but I need to collect the original printings of them, so of the actual cards in Ikoria, because like that's what it's going to go for. Like, no, like you got to look at.
I bet Ed has a great opinion on this one as well. I can see you just practically chewing your thumb off.
I mean, if you're talking about the like ultimate version to invest in, it's gonna be either the OG print or the freaking ultimate version. Like Kaladesh Inventions are a good example.
Right.
Soul Ring from there, how many prints does it have? But if you have Alpha, Beta, Soul Ring, yeah, you got some money. But otherwise, it's really only that one. That's a
wonderful comparison, especially when you look at pure financial value. A Soul Ring from Beta, you're looking at 700, give or take. Yeah. An Invention is right about that same area on a good deal. That's very interesting. different variations we're getting though are nowadays when we're getting cards like Kozilek, since we get a textured foil version of it, it's 3 times as much as the original version, which is
it's suppressed right now. I think it's a low price right now only because it's new, and it is the ultimate version of that card going forward from here. There was a box topper previously from Ultimate Masters, right?
Arguably, the original foil printing might be the ultimate version. Like, you're really looking at
sometimes like you can say that when you're talking about cards, like the original print came from before Return to Ravnica, like those types of foils are rarer.
Like that was Rise of Eldrazi. That was pretty low print, right?
No, I understand what you're saying, but it also comes down to artwork and how many times the art has been reprinted. Like Thoughtseize is an example of that. That kind of got smashed when they reprinted the artwork in Iconic Masters after they had already changed the artwork for Theros. So, you know, like it's kind of weird like that too with art.
Like at the same time, you have that original printed Lorwyn. Now you have that super rare retro foil Thoughtseize, and that's the banger.
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying.
It's more about the rarity than necessarily the first printing or fanciest. Though the fancy part is going to
I've got one super fast question for a super fast tortoise. If you were to go ahead and get yourself a Misty Rainforest right now, are you going to get 2 regular looking Misties or 1 old school looking Misty?
2 regulars.
See, this is my dilemma as well. You know, do I get cards that are play pieces that I can put in decks, or do I get something that I'll never use and put all the way aside?
The original Expedition, man, that's the one.
I'm a player at heart, but
I want that Secret Lair Misty. That art's beautiful, like that whole set.
But I want to slide in something I've been trying to say for a minute. But like when it comes to the value of cards, because you guys keep talking about the value of cards, how many of you own a personalized cube?
No. I don't have friends that I play with on a regular basis, so
right. Well, I have a cube, right? And most of the staple cards, not staple, but the money cards have never been taken out. And this is to talk about the kind of the current situation of the market of how cards are pricing, lowering out. A couple of years ago, my cube is worth over $5,000. Same cards in this cube, it's worth about $3,000 right now.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of where the market's teetering. Not only because Wizard Codes keeps shoving these reprints in our faces of cards that we love, they're also knowing that people will want these big money cards, and they drop the prices because people like people who buy boxes online and bring them in and open up for their channels. They're lowering the prices of the box or the cards. The more they buy, the more they're into the public now.
That's an interesting lead-in to when we have reprint equity. When they reprint it so much, they lose their equity. And a lot of cards, as we continue going forward in Magic, we'll see that. And when we don't, you know, the Ragavans, the Docksides, the stuff we clamor for, we want it. And when they don't give it to us, we're mad, and they see it.
Hold on.
We get it.
I'm next.
Well, Russ, it's been far too long.
Yeah, I know, right? Hold on one second, guys. This is what's amazing. So not only do you have the reprint equity, right? You have the different things that will spike because of actual players, heaven forbid. Dude, speaking of which, because of all the demons coming out in 40K, check this out, guys. This is oh my god, $2 card, right? It pisses me off because I was trying to collect all the demons, and now I gotta chill because check out this bad boy right here, $2, right? Look at it now.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Freaking Shizen, Perverter of Truth, dude.
This is because of Shieldred. This is absolutely because of Shieldred.
Yeah, that's a Shieldred.
Okay. Well, and the demons, the combination.
No, it's primarily Shieldred. Absolutely. Read what it does and read what Shieldred does.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. DJ just got excited.
This is the only printing, and it's from Kamigawa, which is fairly low print because it sold like shit, right?
Yep. It was one of those.
I regret trading mine off a while ago because I've always liked the card, and now it's $40, and I'm like, fuck.
I think somebody opened one of those on the box break on my channel.
That's an interesting card. It's value.
Yeah.
Like I know like 2 decks that want it, but I don't see why it really stretches out when you want a life-draining Howling Mine on your field. But that's pretty solid. The Nekazard is solid, but I don't think it's worth that price point.
Brian's got a very good point. Interaction with the new shield grid. This works particularly well.
Yeah,
and
right.
You throw a little bit of veto in there. This gets gross very quickly.
Right.
So it's not up so fast.
Also,
but it will never be $2 again.
No, it'll probably drop down to like a $10 card.
I was thinking about 20. I was thinking 20 at lowest.
It could be in that realm. So when I see cards like these, the only thing I really think of is the new Shieldred now, but Nekazar. They fit in those decks.
Yeah. That's what I originally had him in, like why I like the card. One of my first decks ended up being Croesus the Purger, which turned into Nekazar. That was my first deck, and I ran Saison in it. That's why I have some preference for the card.
Louder.
Okay. Yeah. So, Shred Deemer, welcome, and I hope you guys smash the like button. Of course, the subscribe. Since finance belongs in the reserve list, does not work in the current iteration of MTG. WotC is far too concerned with hyping the player base to push their sales and give us subpar product overall. Yes, it's been happening.
I absolutely disagree as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, in some cases, I agree.
So it goes back to what Bob is saying. Everything's suppressed because it's coming out so fast, right? So, but we're seeing the card spike about a year later because people are starting to catch on. Yes, I need this card, and they're catching up. They're grabbing those cards, and the prices are starting to go up then, rather than the initial like, oh my god, there's one valuable card that everyone wants. You know?
Yeah, right. Isn't Meat Hook up like 30% or something? Even just after Dominaria United, and it was already pretty up there, and now it's.
I'm not sure where that one's going to end because rumor is it's going to be in the new Challenger deck coming out.
Oh, no way.
I'm going to say this. I actually want to say that we need to go more in the opposite direction. Now, there need to be affordable versions of cards. And Ed and I have had this sort of same stream, same chat, even, when we're texting each other all the time. They need the chase. You need to draw in big money. Without money, game dies. It's that simple. It's a very simple business equation. And the way you do that is make hyper premium chase shit out there for people with big dollars to go get. Right? That's what's going to keep the game afloat and keep moving forward. And they're going to need to innovate and other things. But you need to put more of it in there. But that doesn't mean make more cards and just overprint them into oblivion. You need to get the serialized stuff that's truly rare and truly chased. Yeah. You need to put instead of like what they're doing with these legends, I think it was poorly implemented. They should have only gotten the high value ones so that if you do hit one, even if it's far more rare, it's something to cheer about instead of feeling bad like the stupid list. Or getting, like a whole box of 10-cent cards. I'd rather get no list cards than get a 10-cent bullshit list card. They need the chase in the game to draw the money in, whether they do it in the list slot, whether they create textured foils that are super rare or neon ink or serialized cards. You need to have that. You do need to have the game pieces available to the players, but you also need the chase and the premium versions at high dollar amounts to bring in the money.
I think the biggest issue with the premium versions right now is the collector packs. They're making them too common to pull you into those.
Yeah,
100%. That's what I'm saying. Honestly, I think the collector packs should be printed in far fewer numbers and be much more expensive.
So, like, in my mind, what I've thought all along is they need to cut down on the variants, go back to draft, maybe set boosters, still have the list or whatever, but they need to stop with the collector boosters and make the chase cards like those etched foils and textured foils actually hard to pull.
But here's the thing, Shreddimer, if you want to pull his latest comment up. Not everybody has to buy every product. There are cheap enough products out there with the draft, with the sets. Look at Double Masters at what it's done to the prices of all those super expensive cards, Phyrexian, Altar, Divining Top, all that shit.
For now,
it did drop the price, but the collector boxes and those that hang on to them And when they're $500 a box in 2 years, that's for the whales and the investors. It's doing both at the same time.
The problem with that mentality about the double masters with these sets, they always just kind of plummet for a few months and then they start creeping back up. You know, and a year later, all of a sudden they're back to where they were or even higher on a lot of these cards. You know, nix the cards that are just expensive because they were rare. Of course, like the Warriors Oath, like that won't go back to where it was.
Right. Can you imagine, though, if they actually brought back the expedition thing where they made it harder to pull a rare card, but it was worth it? I mean,
I'd like to see them do that with regular foils.
Right. But, Matt, right, like, here's a good example. Look at the Amonkhet cards. Those cards are worth money, and half those cards are pooey, you know, but they're worth money. Then that expedition is the perfect chase thing they did. And I don't know why we went to let's put special everything and everything instead of having like that special thing that we want you to chase. I believe that sells more product when you have the golden gauntlet at the end of the realm and you have to go grab it by digging through boxes.
And just in a little tangent here to address what you've got on screen here, Russ, for Pack Opening Addict, there is a segment of the Magic the Gathering base that has moved out of playing for a variety of reasons in their life, but still collect. You have to appeal to players and collectors. And that's a really big thing. So when you're selling a product, you can sell a little bit. But when someone comes in and they buy the ultimate version, when someone wants to pay $1,000 for a single Magic product, whatever that all entails, versus someone who buys a collector pack, they're buying hundreds of times worth it. When you look into where I learned this was Grand Theft Auto's monetization for their online model. When they have whales, true, honest, big catches, that's where Magic the Gathering is making most of their money as well. People who are willing to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars instantly to just boom, I want it. This is it.
The people maxing out secret layers.
Exactly.
Right.
So for every Rudy who says he pays his employees to buy all of their maximum allotments of secret layers, for every person like that, there's 1,000 people like us as well. So they have to appeal for both players and collectors. And I think the chase is something that is really important in Magic the Gathering as well. With Dominaria United collector packs, the 3% chance to have a chance to get a good card, where the 3% chance to get a textured foil out of Double Masters Collector was a huge dichotomy change. So there's a huge field for getting both players and collectors. And the big money cards, the big value products being sold to collectors is where it's at. You know, we talk about case premiums. You're not fucking around if you're talking about case premiums.
Yeah.
So, pop quiz for everybody here. Who here would not love to open, maybe draft a box of Urza Saga?
Oh, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you don't want to open one.
I have it, and I'll never open it.
Okay. now, here's the thing. How many of those sealed boxes are around now because of players? No. They're around because of investors.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That and getting lost in the back store.
When you want to open MH2 in the future, it's not the players who did that for you. When you want to open Lorwyn or Kaladesh or whatever it is, when you get to a point in life where you have a few bucks, and not all of us will, but some of you will have more money than you have right now. And guess who's holding on to those products for you to make it at least something that you can do if you become Big Money Sonny in the future? It's not the players who opened and cracked it and tried to stretch out all their value. It was the investors who bought into it at the time that are letting their money sit and soak for you. So, yes, the game needs both players to keep it vibrant, but it also needs the investors.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, on that note, because he's got such a wonderful voice, and I just got to give him a big shout out. Hey, DJ, could you do me a favor? Throw Prime up on the full screen. Hey, Prime, I've got an offer for you. Because sealed product is just so damn fun, and I love Ikoria so very much.
Yeah.
A year from now, I'll buy Ikoria for 160 if that box is sealed.
160. Well, I paid 140 for it. In a
Ooh.
year, $20.
Woof.
What are you talking about? That's like a 12% invest. That's like a 12% gain. I would love for my stocks to get 12%.
Yeah. How about that?
Right?
Okay. When you put it like that, it's a deal.
I'll beat the Index 5. Okay.
So understand. Don't get me wrong, folks. That I love cracking stuff just like everybody does. I'm a player, collector, and investor, right? But I understand the importance and the place of all of these things in the market. If we just had a single dimension of just players, the game would suck. Nobody would really like it, and it would have died.
Wizards would have been out of business long ago because full of players who want every card to be $1. How are they going to make any money? Seriously, how's a company supposed to survive like that? It's ridiculous.
If everybody buys singles, who's opening the fucking singles?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a freaking ecosystem, man. I keep saying it. Every part is just as important as the other parts. Even the distributors in the stores, man, they're part of it too. There's got to be room for them.
That's a much bigger conversation, Ed. And I think that, like you said, and it's really perfectly apt to say that it's an ecosystem. And when you go tweaking things so fast like they're doing, you upset the apple cart, which I've said so many times that I feel that they're burning the candle at both ends and in the middle. And they're kind of destroying the ecosystem that's existed for 30 years.
Yeah, it's a pretty fragile ecosystem.
To be careful with that.
Oh, hold on. Found. This Shred Humor.
Shred's just ripping up the chat, dude.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. No, I love it. Is this Watson just found boxes of Legends sitting in a warehouse? It'd be crazy.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely believe
balance
that.
of products sitting around.
Yeah, of course they do.
Oh, of course, yeah. Duh. But shit. We could argue about this for days and days and days.
Oh, I know.
Well, I'll say this: we're all arguing actually different sides of the same coin.
Actually, we are.
Everybody here wants this game to do well. We just have different ideas of how to achieve that.
Agreed.
Even the people watching.
Yeah, the biggest thing is I don't think WotC understands the collectors into things other than they just want to sell products because they make all these collector things, but they push it out where the value of them just tank.
They're trying to understand the collectors. They're trying, but I don't know if they're succeeding. That's the thing. All these
the real
things
issue is?
Secret Lair and Collector's Edition. That's to get all the the money out of that secondary market that they've been missing for years.
Right. And you know what the real issue is with all this is that we're still buying it. Yep. So it's not like we're obviously we have to buy to keep
we're not proving them wrong to make the product.
Exactly. We're not.
But just like an ecosystem when you slash and burn the rainforest, right? And we'll liken this to the local game stores. They're the ones that are suffering from all these rapid changes in the business model, selling through Amazon, selling through Walmart, making so many products so fast and increasing the prices. They're upsetting a very delicate balance. And if you talk to the LGS owners, they're singing a very different tune than they did, 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And they need to be better stewards, just like we do for the earth. We know that we're fucking ourselves with burning the rainforest and, diverting irrigation from places that water has no business to be. And I'll say this about WotC, and you were on to something there, Tortoise, and that is that I think that WotC, they've changed. They've evolved into something different, this new style a la Richard Gere, Pretty Woman kind of let's just slash and burn and get what we can short term because we're just going to executive ABC is going to move on to next company. Doesn't give two fucks about WotC, which in the past was owned by the creators, was owned and developed by people that cared about the product. Right. Now it's a business and they're just trying to, wheeze the juice for all they can get out of it. They're trying to, squeeze that lemon too hard because it's just a corporate top-down driven mentality about getting money instead of let's look at the health of this long term because they don't give a shit. They're going to hit their parachute eject button in 2 to 3 years up at WotC. I guarantee you.
Can we just comment on how casually Bob compared WotC to an early 90s John? This shit is pretty funny, man.
Damn. That's classic. Chris, welcome.
Actually, we're the Johns in that analogy, Ed.
It kind of pisses me off how they're doing like the LGSs. So I mean, like from what I've been hearing from LGS owners, they're lucky to get 1 or 2 sets of like the collector decks for Warhammer. Like they're struggling to even get that 1 or 2 sets.
It seems like they struggle to get all the good product nowadays.
Yes.
Well,
at the end.
Here's what I think. I think they designed these Warhammer sets so good, it actually caught the attention of actual players and collectors because these decks look pretty banging for being commander decks.
So that's the thing, man. I'm 100% behind you there super fast. So I don't play Warhammer. I've never rolled dice or built an army, any of that stuff. I love the lore, the world building that they put behind it. So I was rather excited to see what Wizards of the Coast and Games Workshop could come together and make for us as Magic players. And when I started seeing some of the cards come out, they really lived up to the lore side of it. That aspect really was fulfilled. And when I look at some of the cards and the power level that they're bringing, I'm as excited for these cards as I was for anything out of New Capenna or Kamigawa. And for them to be in commander decks seems like an odd way to introduce this product. I would have liked if it got a more full release like they're going to do with Lord of the Rings. But with what we're getting, I'm quite excited to get singles or, in all honesty, as a proxy player myself. I've already built a deck out of little slips of paper from Marneus Calgor because I think it's a wonderful card with a lot of power. There are a lot of things that this set is bringing to us, but the way that they're delivering it from an investment standpoint is so wholly different than what we've seen before. I think that go right ahead.
Sorry. Speaking of that investment standpoint, like the thing that stands out to me from like investment are some of the singles. We're talking about a lot of like commander staples with unique art that we are highly unlikely to get again, right? So we got our soul rings, our exotic orchards, our command towers, all with unique art in these decks, arcane signets. Then if you bump it up to the collector decks, you're getting them in Surge Foil, which kind of leads into something else I was trying to touch on when Ed brought it up, was Surge Foils aren't new. We've actually seen these in the past. Newer players wouldn't really recognize them, but here's one right there.
Yep.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah, it's like one of the Judge promo versions.
No. These are Judge promos. These are like
right?
release promos. No, these are release promos. This is like before they had pre-releases. This was release day promo for 10th edition Rhea Dawnbringer. So they did have one media promo, which was Gia Dawnbringer. They had like tournament promos in this foiling. So they did this for a while for all the release day promos, like release day drafts. So it was pretty cool. So like they had the Shriekmaw, like this Earwig squad and stuff like that from Lorwyn.
Yeah, and, this goes back to a conversation I had with Bob and Matt over on my channel one night about the different processes that other card games have. The way that you can look at a pack of Weiss Schwarz and what they bring. There's so many different ways that you can have a money card. Oh, it's in this version. It's in this version. And I'm not sure if anybody has caught this. Let's go ahead and bring it up now. So Unfinity with these attractions, each attraction will have 4 different versions with a different hit number on it. So because they have that 1 through 6 on your pre-combat phase, roll a dice. There are different versions of each card, just like in Flesh and Blood. They have different pitch cost. If you discard a card from your hand, you get mana, as it were, the equivalent. And they have different versions where you get more or less. And Magic is now pulling that in. So I think we're seeing more of a refining process. We're seeing all these different mechanics on top of the treatments as well. I think this is a huge change for Magic going forward in the next couple of years. I was so worried that Hasbro had put such pressure to get more money. And out of that, they might have created a better play product for me as a consumer.
I'll say this. I've heard some negativity about Unfinity from been on other channels watching stuff. So many people talking.
Bob,
For
are
me.
you tinfoil hatting now? Because I'm ready for you.
Actually, the tinfoil hat. I guess we can go ahead and roll into that. I do have a prediction.
There you go, Bob.
As much as we're talking up the Warhammer 40K,
yeah,
like I was saying earlier, there are going to be some faster ponies in the race. Will Warhammer 40K be an investable, so to speak, if you're not a 40K fan? Maybe. But I'll say this. The Dominaria Remastered will be. And if you're going to drop $800 on decks of Warhammer 40K, my advice is wait. We already know they got Force of Will coming. So I would take that same money, and it's just around the corner, folks. People always complain with the speed of things coming out that you don't have the money.
January.
Save your money on the 40K decks if you're looking for an investment and buy the Remastered. I'm betting that's where they're going to put the value this next coming year. They
especially every set that contains a Dominaria, like from someplace in Dominaria, like I mean that's a huge range of cards, and could be, you know, they obviously love to spice things up and try to one up the previous sets that they had done just to, you know, get a quick buck. So I'd imagine Dominaria Remastered is going to be something that
I'll say this as clear as I can. Warhammer 40K Commander decks, they might go up. They probably will. But Dominaria Remastered will go up as a sealed product. You know, like I say, keep it sealed, folks. I'm telling you, that one is going to go up in value, period.
I think the problem with the Warhammer collector decks right now...
I don't know about that, Bob.
Hey, wait,
They will.
I mean, it's going to go up, but...
I'll bet it goes up faster than the Warhammer 40K decks. That's my point.
So,
okay,
how I'm feeling on the Warhammer 40K decks right now is I think they've already spiked. They're already getting the attention. And if there's a bigger supply than it looks like right now, which knowing Wizards there is, I think they're going to plummet and people are going to lose faith in them. They'll go down again and then take longer to rise back up.
And that's when I'm going to buy them.
I'm just saying, I think that's far riskier than a set that we know is going to have an alternate bordered Force of Will.
Right.
The only reason I'm worried about Dominaria Remastered is because that they're turning it from, I mean, Time Spiral Remastered was a nice product with the way that they did those old border foils, one per box. That was very well balanced. And then they had a big pool of cards to draw from for those foils. It was nice.
Where you going
You know,
with this?
There's
right
collector's
now, I bet if
edition.
you look up any old school foil from that set, bare minimum $7.
That's what I'm saying. And now they're going to have collector's edition where one is in every pack, you know, like something like that.
By making everything special, nothing special. Make foils great again.
Yes,
honestly, Ed, I'm going to throw a different twist on that and say it's going to come down to production numbers.
Of course.
And it's going to come down to how they make a chase.
Like,
I mean,
is there going to be like a special thing to chase is a good question.
I hope that they have a limited run on this like they did the Remastered, but, you know, WotC has a tendency, like a kid in a candy store, can't help but, you know, I got one gumball, let me get 2 handfuls now. It's like, yeah. So we'll see, but I you know what? The Warhammer 40K falls into that same category.
I have a question.
How many decks are they actually going to make?
Yeah, it's a full retail product. This isn't an LGS exclusive. Same thing with Dominaria Remastered. Neither are going to be LGS exclusives like we've seen, like with the double feature or anything like that.
And if you look at most of the decks, I'm not talking about sets of decks for the Commander sets. Since Commander got super popular in the last few years, none of them, with the exception of a card like Dockside Extortionist, which we don't see in these Warhammer decks, you know, they don't really appreciate much.
I mean,
they just don't.
The problem is the past few years is like they've just been shoving out these decks with lackluster cards, and I think we've started to see that turn around with the Dominaria United and the Warhammer decks here. They're starting to pump in more powerful cards than they have been for years now at a higher rate. these decks are a lot better than we've seen. But the caveat the cards are less universally playable. They're more specific to a strategy. So they're more akin to something like Edgar Markov or the Dragon, where they're going to be dormant for years and then eventually be like, oh, they've never seen a reprint and now this new card's out.
So I just realized something. Okay. So finance-wise, you guarantee for $50 someone gets 100 cards on this list, right? You know, when you release a commander deck for $50, every card of that is going to get bought when they pay $50. You don't know that someone is going to spend $50 worth of Magic. When little Timmy goes down to the store, he doesn't have $50 to spend. He can go ahead and get a couple of packs. He can spend $5, $10, $20 maybe. The gate to get those cards is now higher. You can't just pull those out of a draft box. I think all of those cards now going forward, we will see a meta shift in sealed commander decks being wholly WH better quality cards. I think that we'll see a higher entry fee to get into commander decks going forward.
Right. I agree with you.
All right.
I think they'll probably put better cards and they'll probably have a higher entry fee because what they realize is that people pay okay, I'll just say it. Like the deck I'm bringing to Vegas. I was surprised when I got through the list on the hell is that say Moxfield, whatever I'm using.
Yeah.
And it was like $2,000 for the deck. Right. And they realize this, and that's just for a fun deck. That's just for Vegas. And what they realize is, what would you say the average if you bought non-proxied cards for all the commander decks out there? In general, to even have a playable deck, most of them are in that $300 to $500 range.
Yeah, my decks usually range 400 to 1,000 not proxying. Like, this is my collection over the years. I'm not dropping that kind of money, but it's like, if I look at the stats on tapped out after making the deck list, I'm like, holy shit, how did this happen? I just slapped together a few cards that have been laying around.
And so they're aware of that. So they're like, well, why don't we just sell a pre-canned deck for $50, $100, which, you say it's, this is the highest price point, but it's not. I mean, Heads I Win, Tails You Lose was the highest pre-con deck that they've put out. So.
And now we got the $150 pre-cons.
Well, but that's only because of the verse, because they put the foils in it. I'm talking about the basic cards that are in it. Yeah. So at any rate, the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose technically was a $300 deck.
And that deck had the value ham-fisted straight in there too.
Sure. But what I'm saying is they realize this, right? And they're going to try to capture more of that segment of the market in the commander decks. They realize, hey, most commander players get into a deck that's, you could open up and play at a table and not feel like a schmuck.
I've been playing against the new Dominaria decks, and they are really solid out of the box, like the best I've seen, period. But the thing is, you can't just piece them out and be like, all these cards are amazing, let me shove them in everything, because they're specific to what that deck does.
Sure.
And I like that they're going that route.
So I'm not going to be surprised to see them creep upwards and start getting better and better cards that are more and more competitive, like a standard commander deck, as they start approaching $100, $150, $200 on average for a deck that they release. But the value will be in it.
So let's go ahead and move forward. We went all over the place there, which is amazing. Thank you guys. Great conversations for sure.
Hey, I've got a tinfoil hat right here. I got a crazy tinfoil hat.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Go ahead, man. Go for it. You can talk.
The next time we see Triumphs from Ikoria reprinted will be in a pre-con.
Yeah, I believe it.
Guffaw all you like, boys. This here is my tinfoil hat, and it's warm from my head alone.
I'd expect to see a secret lair
Yeah, I think a secret lair would happen before a pre-con with them in there.
And even I think that's unlikely because, they want a premium for cards that are lands, and they get this nice
hold on. They've already had a secret lair for fetches. They've had a secret lair for shocks. They've had a secret lair for pathways. Right. I mean,
and think about
we're marching down this road. So,
All right,
but let's talk some Funfinity. That's what I wanted to talk about tonight.
That's thank you. I'm trying to get there. Holy crap.
Well, like I want to know, what does everybody think and feel about the weird legality of Unfinity?
Oh, I hate it. It's a load of bullshit.
I agree.
I love it, and I had a tinfoil hat theory about this probably like a year ago, that they're grooming us to break the reserve list.
It was like a year ago.
Oh boy.
Do you think they'll violate their own? I mean,
It was a year ago.
I know they're the cannibals.
Here
but
on the
they'll
MTG
violate their
Roundtable.
own reserve list?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It
Brian,
was, DJ. They're not hearing you, but I did drop that bomb here. Do you remember what it was about, DJ?
You did. I have to go back and find it and post it.
Yeah, I mean, my pre-order for Unfinity is from like 10 fucking months ago. Like, yeah, we've been talking about this for ages, and they keep changing things around. And these stickers, I think, are still as loony as ever.
So
it's gonna be great.
If I can just succinctly kind of talk about the grooming us for breaking the reserve list, and this is this is a controversial subject. So number one, reserve list only applies to tournament legal cards. Go read their website; it says it right on it. The reserve list only applies to tournament legal cards. So, what have they done in this set? And I'll give you the answers. That is different from every other unset to walk us down that path. Number one, they changed everything to black bordered, which people love. Got rid of the silver bordered. Two, they changed the tournament legality simply by the symbol that's on the card. They put the acorn on it, makes it not tournament legal. So you could put an acorn on a dual land, on a Black Lotus, on a Mox, on a Time Walk, and it would not violate the reserve list.
True.
Tracks, 100%.
That's a step, but I little doubt they would do that. Not big doubt.
They're not going to do it right now. I'm saying that they're leading us down that path. They're grooming us.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, like, what does that do though, right? Like, what is it going to do? Like,
what does that do?
Yeah, because if it's not tournament legal, you could probably get away with playing a proxy.
95% of players play Commander, and they don't play in a tournament anyways. And they would love to have a WotC printed card. Like, just like people were screaming to get the Black Lotus token for Garth One Eye. They want a card printed by WotC, even if it's a proxy or a non-tournament
but that's what I mean,
card to play in their Commander decks.
Like, you play with proxies. Like, you're even one to say that the proxies tend to feel better than the cards that come out.
I agree with you, and this is WotC's way of being able to legally print a proxy of reserve list cards.
I mean, I guess I just don't. I don't like if that thing goes for more than like 50 cents.
Oh, you're kidding yourself. Even the not Black Lotus printed by another company loosely associated with WotC. What the fuck was the name of that set? The one in Japan, the Dual Masters or whatever the hell it was.
Dual Masters.
That Joker was going for $75, and it's not even a Black Lotus.
Yeah. I think that was just like the overseas markup. I'm pretty sure they're probably less than 20 over in Japan. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying is that the market here was willing to pay it, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, anytime anybody brings something up, it'll go up. All it takes is again the same deal. If enough people talk about it, and enough people say that they really want it, right, and it happens to come to market, people are going to go, oh, cool, that's the thing everybody's talking about. Well, I'd like to get one because, everybody just follows the trend. But that's truly, if this happens, Bob, what do you think is going to happen to Alpha Black Lotuses, right? Nothing, right? You'd imagine nothing is going to happen, right?
Nope.
So if Wizards just resorts to making proxies, I don't know. I don't like that idea. I think it's silly because I'll do that already.
So, Alex, and I hate to cut you guys off there a little bit. Wizards does make proxies. Okay, so a 1/1 elf token, that's not a real card. Wizards.
Okay, but those are represented as
There you go,
a
Pat.
token,
So,
right? Like,
Alex, what is a proxy to you then? A representation of what?
well, so it would be a representation of something that is not meant to have like there's not tons, like meant to be what do you call it? Like I don't know. I view tokens almost like a resource. You know what I mean? Like if you have like a tribal deck that makes a bunch of tokens, right? You can do that. But you also, of course, right? There are tokens that they've made, but it's not. What I'm saying is, if they go about making this, and it's like, okay, here's a Black Lotus with an acorn stamp on it, just because it's not tournament legal, then I just don't understand why you would put your efforts towards that.
Let me ask you this: if in the next set or two of Unfinity with whatever non-tournament legal, and they start putting in one dual land, it's a 1% or 0.1% hit. You don't think people will buy the shit out of that Unfinity set?
People would.
I mean, yeah, I think they will. I won't.
Thank you, Prime. I agree with you. I think that would be a marketing genius move. That we're gonna sell the fuck out of these things.
Yeah, they would fucking go nuts.
And they don't care that it's a proxy. They just want it.
Well, no, take my money.
Here's a couple of examples. You remember when they printed the mocks in the original From the Vault? And people flipped their mind out because they found a loophole, but now they're never going to do that again because it broke the trust of the collectors. And they did, and when they went back to the remastered set not so long ago, then can't think of it, but they purposely wouldn't print certain cards because it went against the reserve list idea, so they didn't do it. Yeah, and they didn't do it. So why would they go out of their mind, go out of their way, print something like that will flip the collectors' minds? Because even if they did the acorn route and printed like a Black Lotus with acorn on it, still has a magic back on it. Because you got to remember, they'll have a magic back on it. It is pretty much a real card that's not tournament legal, but in Commander. It's even though it's banned in Commander, but still, if they wanted to in Commander, they can use that and roll 0. So they wouldn't do that because it would affect, because the common player would not know the difference, especially if they're new. They would think they just pulled a $2,000 card.
The thing is, that same common player is not the one spending that money, not the one affecting the prices in that direction. So it doesn't matter. The person who's spending that kind of money, they know their shit. They're not just going to be like, oh my God, it's a corn stamp fucking Black Lotus. Let me drop 20 G's on it.
The common player does not need to spend a lot of money to pull a Black Lotus out of an acorn set. All they need to do is buy one pack and get lucky.
But that's my point. They're going to get excited, then find out it's not worth anything, and it affects nothing.
So here, I mean, again, I knew that this was going to be controversial, and I just want to get these theories out there. Another thing that they're doing in this set to start leading us down that road, not only did they change to black borders and put the acorn symbols on them, they put tournament legal cards in an unset.
Right, which is weird.
So,
isn't that weird? Again, like I said, it feels very much like we're being trained like Pavlov's dog, that we're being groomed to accept things that in the past they would have said, oh, hell no, you can't have uncards without silver borders.
So there's something to what you're saying that made something cross my mind. That
just Wizards saying, hold my beer.
That this would happen. What if with these remaster sets, the point of these remaster sets is that we can experience this past draft format, right? Or a sealed format. What if we get these Eggcorn Stamp reserve list cards in those sets so we can play with them in draft?
So you want me to go one step further, because my mind just works nutty, and you can all say I'm crazy. That's fine.
Whoa,
imagine
and your mind works nutty, Bob. You punny bastard, you.
Imagine that they have an entire experience of Urza Saga Acorn set, and you can draft all of Urza Saga just like it was back in the day, but it's acorns instead of the gears.
Well, think of this. Think of this.
Interesting choice of words.
This is rumored right now, right? Magic is going to get, from the Transformers series, folding triple-faced cards in the future.
Oh, God.
They tried that already, though. I have some of those, and it was
those are trash. Like the design was trash. It's an
That's
awesome
the thing.
concept, but the design was trash.
Right.
Like
Cool on paper, but actual execution sucked.
Right. I am not going to argue if they're trash or not because I've never played with one and I don't think the idea is that great.
Right.
But like what I'm saying is what I'm leading to is I like with like the sticker thing going on.
Yeah.
And the secondary mechanics where they bring in like a dungeon or this entertainment, whatever they call it. They're bringing in things from other games to their own game. Yeah, attractions. So like when they're talking about putting stickers on things, some of these cards will be permanently legal, I believe. It's just very strange. But they're basically starting to kind of copy different games. And I don't know if they're copying or if they actually own the rights to them or it's a subsidiary part of the company. But like they're playing with different mechanics because I feel, and this is a big feel like assumption, Wizards kind of drying up on ideas for certain cards because if in this set they made an acorn card that purposely changes the function of a token in the game. Like it treats it as a card. It can be bounced to your hand, can stay in your graveyard.
Yep.
So they're borrowing from different concepts.
For sure. Guys, let's reel it in here. Let's get it into Unfinity, please.
You're on screen.
I love it all. I love it all. Yeah.
The most dangerous gamer here.
I love this card so much.
You know, a black and a green for a 2/2. It's a human gamer guest with death touch. Whenever the most dangerous gamer enters the battlefield or attacks, open an attraction, which we were just talking about. Whenever you open attraction, which we're now talking about, put a 1/1 counter on this dumb shit. Whenever you claim the prize of an attraction, destroy target permanent. Now, this sounds very enticing. Anytime you have the chance to destroy a target permanent, whoa, especially in Commander. One of the interesting things, though, so far, all of the cards that are attractions that you get a prize from are not Commander legal. They're all Acorn cards.
Huh?
Well,
no,
not
that's
all of them.
not true.
No, there are some that are.
Most of them are legal. So
yeah,
not that you get a prize from.
Okay, guys, real quick, Ed, how much time you got, bud?
None.
Ed.
Ed's
that answers that question. All right. Well,
I wanted to ask him a question. So, something to note, folks, that people are shitting on this product to a degree, in large. Go take a look at the sealed prices for older unsets. Unsets, as much as you like or hate them, they do well.
I mean, that's kind of a side effect from them doing poorly initially,
Well,
I'm just like they're approachable to people that are not.
That comes out that doesn't do poorly for 2 months.
Like the unsets that you generally have done poorly historically because you can't really use the cards in any format outside of that draft experience. So a lot of people just don't want them. All they care about are the lands. But this is a completely different beast.
That's an interesting take, and I guess that does speak to something about in Magic's history. The play format has been so specific. It's either you open up packs and you make a deck, or in the rare chance when we were all much younger, to be able to open up a box and draft. I couldn't have ever thought of that when I was in high school. I didn't know that was a fucking thing.
Right.
Whereas now, as an adult, that's like, we all get together and we do that thing. Where now the unsets have a much larger appeal because you're able to do that down to your LGS. We didn't even have one of those when I was a kid.
I would really love to comment on Brian's statement here because it goes back to a conversation I even had with my fiance. She has no interest in playing Magic as it is. We're all players that like the mechanics and understand it, and it's not that intimidating to us because we've already made that step. But for your friends who don't play Magic, for your fiance, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, I don't judge. It's less intimidating to play a game that nobody gives a shit who wins. Do you think anybody really cares who wins a game of Unfinity? No, you're doing it just like you do with Cards Against Humanity. You just want to have fun. You want to laugh. You want to have a good time. And this is much more approachable set. That's why people like to draft them in hindsight.
Like even my wife is loving the sticker idea of this game. She doesn't like Magic, and she loves the sticker idea of putting them on cards and stuff.
But is she going to play with you? Like,
oh yeah,
more than often than usual.
Yeah, she's actually buying a box so we can draft it.
Nice.
And that's exactly my point.
A different way to play Commander. Yeah, a different.
Brian nailed it here with this. Game. Brian really nailed it when he said it's the Mario Party. If you're not familiar with Mario Party, that's like the game that people will play. The whole family will play on your Wii, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing that's approachable. Is the word that you should probably best use for unsets. Is it's far more approachable than a hardcore I want to punch your face type of deck for somebody who wants to come in,
right?
And has never played before. It's a great way to get into the game.
You know, I played over the weekend a bunch of guys in Commander, you know, went camping with BBD and a whole bunch of guys. And this one fella, Rudy, great guy, but he brought like 15 decks and they were all straight jet fuel. Now, sometimes I've gone down to my LGS and people already know the meta. Oh, this is the way you draft Ikoria. Oh, this is how you're supposed to draft Dominaria. Now, when you play an unset, there's none of that shit. Hey, boys, each of you brings a 6-pack. Like, it's that kind of a fun time. This is a different sort of experience. Now, being able to have some of these cards legal is a whole other thing. I've bought into this. Like I said down in the comments, I've got a collector's box and 2 draft boxes. I've had this ordered for months and months and months and months. I'm not going to cancel this because I want to have the great experience, the fun time of having a card like the Most Dangerous Gamer and some other crazy shit where I have to rip it up and throw it all over the table. You know?
Chaos confetti.
If I could ask a quick question of DJ here, just to kind of put a finer point on this. DJ and I, in case you guys don't know, we're going out to Vegas for MTG 30 at the end of next month.
Yup.
DJ asked me only one thing to play, to draft. What was that, DJ?
Wait a minute. What was that?
You said, when we get there, I so want to draft this with you. Do you remember what you asked me?
Oh, for Unfinity, right?
Unfinity.
Or no?
Of all the things that are going to be there with, you know, Dominaria United, all these old packs, DJ asked me, he said, are we going to get a box of Unfinity and draft it?
Yeah.
Unsolicited. That was just his gut reaction. And
he talked about doing that shit like on the floor of a hotel room.
Right.
Yeah, all sticky and whatnot.
I have not that was me. Why? Why did you pick Unfinity, DJ, over all the other sets and all the other boxes that we could possibly buy and afford and do at Vegas? Why did you pick Unfinity?
You want to have fun with you on the bottom of a hotel floor room?
No. That would be the next night. No, it was because it's different. It's fun, and I really want to see the Spacelands. So just to see people crack them and go, ooh.
So there is the value, folks. Forget about financial value of any individual cards in the set. That is the value in it. I don't know how to express it more clearly than that. It's the experience of opening it and drafting it that is the value.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. That's the whole point of it, and I think it's great. Let's see. Yeah, no, that was a while back, Bob. I'm surprised you remember that. And it would be fun. It would be fun if we got a bunch of content creators together and say, hey, whether we chip in or not, whatever, freaking let's draft this just between us, and
I'm in.
That'd be awesome.
The reason he remembers is because the conversations he has with you are worthwhile, DJ.
Thank you.
You know what feels kind of insane to me right now? Even though pre-order prices are usually high, right now for the foil Shocklands from Unfinity, they're pre-ordering for over $100, and I'm like, they're the
What?
fucking box topper. Just buy a box.
Oh wow.
Well, as we
pre-release
about
pricing for you.
pre-order prices, you can go ahead and ask Moxman whether it was worthwhile to buy Imperial Seals at $350 or
not. Ouch.
Yeah, no, Pack, I hear you, man. He's a concern. He's like, I want a set of them too. Me personally, I want one each. Like even lands I don't play in any commander deck that I would future coming. Like the Death Star freaking what is it? White black? Was it white black?
Godless Shrine.
It's a freaking Death Star, dude. I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah. Moon.
Godless Shrine is the one where it's an eclipse.
Yeah.
What's the one that looks like Takanuma? I like that one probably the best.
Yeah.
No, they're all awesome. I'm a sci-fi head first before MTG, so like these space shocks really call to me, and I'm like, bro, Watsy, get out of my freaking wallet every single freaking check.
Every time.
Okay, hold on.
No, think about it. We got two sets right now.
We're gonna coin it right here, boys and girls.
Yeah,
Shocklands, the space shocklands.
Yeah, space shocks.
We're gonna call them the Spocklands. If they're calling them,
there you go.
They call them SpaceX. We're calling them Spocklands.
Sure, I'm fine with that. I'm calling them fucking beautiful, whether they're basic or shock.
Yeah. Basics are amazing.
They're at least keeping that on theme with the Unfinity set. Look, unsets are always controversial. If you've ever been around, like if you, I don't know if any of you were around when the original Unglued set came out. Yeah. Everybody poo-pooed on that thing. Nobody was fucking buying them.
No,
just the basic lands. Ooh, the full art lands, and I still have like all
I remember people buying whole boxes.
Go ahead, Matt.
We got a little overtalk there. Who was first?
I'll just go.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just remember with Unstable people buying entire boxes just to get the basic lands and that guaranteed foil one back before collector packs were a thing. Like
absolutely. I recall. So again, 10 months ago when this came up, when I was pre-ordering product, I was working in a different situation, and one of my friends was regaling me with a story of when he had drafted an unset, and the person to his right, who is very familiar with Magic, took every land, and he couldn't figure out why. And as soon as they started putting a deck together, he said, "Oh, these are like $5 or $10 a piece."
Yeah,
absolutely.
and it was just one of those. Bob had told me, "Hey, if you're playing Commander Legends, have the conversation with your friends before a draft. Don't do rare drafting. Have a good time. Make a good deck. Enjoy the experience." And I took that so to heart over and over, and I conveyed that to other people in my pod. And every time we have a better enjoyment of the product. And I think this is going to be that culmination of that idea. So, can you enjoy it? Can you have fun with it? Or are you just trying to get money out of it?
So, like, to me, the rule of thumb is, like, does it pay for the pack? If it does, just take it, You can just roll that over into playing another draft or whatever, But at the same time, if it doesn't, you grab the card that you're going to play with.
But that screws up the experience of playing.
Yeah, you're value drafting more than playing. Yeah.
Value drafting's pretty good, especially if you win first.
Yeah.
Again, but it's not what the product was designed and intended to do. So that's why when I go to my pod,
we had a discussion about Jeweled Lotus. It's a phenomenally powerful card, but if you're playing Edric, Spy Master of Trest, one a green and a blue, how the fuck is Jeweled Lotus going to help you? It ain't. It's never going to be worthwhile. You put that in a sliver deck. Oh, one of every color? Huh. How's that going to help you? It won't. You just wasted a good pull. And don't get me wrong. It's a nice card. It's great to have. You love pulling it. But it doesn't help you. And that's the experience we're talking about.
The problem is, like, you're talking Jeweled Lotus. That sets your drafting commander. That's going to help you.
No, it's not. There's so many cards that Jeweled Lotus doesn't help you worth a shit.
Yeah,
it gets your commander out there.
The majority of experiences, it doesn't help. That's
wait,
why
are we talking Timeless Lotus, not Jeweled Lotus?
No, Jeweled Lotus doesn't help with many commanders out there.
No, Jeweled Lotus is mainly for monocolored decks, in my assumption of thinking of it.
Like
yes,
like in Commander Draft, if you're pulling that Jeweled Lotus, that's helping quite a bit because you're doing generally, in most cases, you're getting 2 monocolored commanders, and it's going to pop one of those out there real fast.
No.
Like
I pick Liesa every time.
I'm sorry if I saw a Jeweled Lotus, dude. My first instinct would be to nab it because it would be useful.
Here's where I'll contradict all of you on this. And Pat, I've even told you the solution for that.
Oh, boy.
When I go play with my group,
Bob's getting mad.
I buy the box, and all the cards that are drafted out of it are mine at the end of the night.
There
so
you go.
draft to play.
There
and I'll guarantee you would not draft the fucking Jewel Lotus.
I would probably.
No, you wouldn't.
It would depend what's in the
It's
pack.
not a good card for most of the commanders in there. I'm sorry, it just isn't. You're not going to go mono commander because you don't know that you're going to get a great partner for it.
Jeweled Lotus was purposely made to be a chase piece.
Yes.
Yeah,
because it said Lotus.
So one way that I've done it with draft to stop like value drafting is like at the end of it, you pool everything and just take turns picking cards. Like basically the winner gets to pick first type deal.
I disagree that Jeweled Lotus is overpriced and overhyped. First off, it's very rare, and for the decks that it does help when you make constructed is just it's bonkers to help you get your Avacyn out on turn 3. But
helps you get
that's not what it's for in draft. It's crap in Commander Draft. I'm sorry, it is.
Right.
I don't know. Turn 2 Lies is pretty nasty.
It's a tough. It's a tough card to play in a multicolored deck.
And limited is. Sorry, you can go ahead. Super fast. That's my bad.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, especially when you go into 3 or 4 colors.
Okay.
Right.
So
yeah, and that's yeah.
Sorry.
The thing is, Commander Legends Draft, you're generally not getting it for those 3 or 4 colors. You're getting 2 colors.
I'm loving all the topics, guys, but we really need to focus on some Unfinity just for a minute, please. A lot of people want to talk about the. A lot of people want to talk about the 2 crazy ass planeswalkers. So let's get into it. Give me a second here.
So, here you go. I'll wrap up Unfinity in a nutshell.
Infinity, but it's going to be like another 10 months before it comes out. Let's be honest.
Here you go. Here's what you need to know about Unfinity. Buy it and keep it sealed.
There you go, Bob.
Done.
So
I
love these. Look at these. Holy crap, guys!
It's straight fucking fire.
Dude,
like this.
Look at that watery grave. That's
so
makes my nipple hard.
I recently bought a hockey deck, and it was all crazy artwork like this shit, and end to end, like this right here. This is what I'm fucking talking about. This is why we buy Magic cards. For me, as a lover of artwork, this is what I want to fill my deck with. Yeah. Like it's cool to have some old school white frames. Like, hey man, I'm a bit of a hipster, but look at this shit. Cream your pants, boys. Take screenshots right now. Get it?
Yeah, right.
Just look I mean, come on. If you play Magic, you have to appreciate looking at these cards.
I freaking love it.
I think Sacred Foundry is one of my favorites.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Sacred Foundry.
Real quick, guys. Galaxy Foil obviously will probably only be available in the collectors. Look at this.
No,
it's freaking.
I'm behind your back. This shit looks amazing.
No, somebody read it, and I think it was Jake and Joel.
It's
going to be very, very rare.
Oh, dude, that hallowed fountain. Come on, look at.
But I think there's 3 Galaxy Foils in every collector pack.
These look like they should be.
Okay.
Like some of these lands look like they could go into the Warhammer decks.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
They
you could sneak in that godless shrine and say damnation.
I love that.
That's right.
So that's the thing, Shredeemer, is that's my exact thought. And I haven't said it. We're 90 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and say it. All these cards I'm going to get for like 40 cents. Just print it off from a website. Just exactly the whole deck that I want for $40 shipped right to my door. I'm going to get each and every one of these in the most beautiful, high quality. I'm going to make sure the whole deck looks phenomenal. I'm not going to pay any of these prices. I love talking about it, but the cards I'm buying aren't going to be real Magic cards.
Okay.
Yeah,
They have the cutesy art on there. Look at the most dangerous gamer we saw earlier in the official format, and then we got this on My Little Pony. I'm like, wow.
I'm just gonna say this now. Don't pay attention to any of these prices, folks. This is all fugazi.
On half $90. Get right the fuck out of here.
Do you guys notice the two planeswalkers are legacy legal?
Yep.
So you have a legacy legal dog planeswalker.
Yep.
And I watched a Commander's Quarters, Mitch, whatever his show is,
Commander's Quarters.
Player in there. That seems like it'll be an interesting card with the way that you have just a board wipe on deck. It seems like a fun little shenanigans, especially with the politicking you get to do.
Yeah.
But here's another thing I think people are overlooking, and I think it's an incredible thing to think of. This is the first time you're seeing a legal Jace card that's more than just blue.
That's
That
true.
too. Yeah. It's an interesting concept behind this card for sure. I mean, separating different sections and do you think it'll be more than this price point though? I don't, unless you get the special space touched
Honestly,
by Picard himself, like
this is a more fun card. This is going to be a card that's played for fun, so a lot of people are just going to overlook it and not play with it. I think it's good situationally if you think about how to use it properly, but like a lot of people aren't going to want to go into that and try to like figure out how their opponent's going to react to them doing this thing so they can do it the way they want.
Yeah, the main people I see going after this set that's not for value of price are cube builders. They're going to love Jace Bellerin.
I'll say this: it won't get played by most people for the same reason that Sensei's Divining Top tends to avoid a lot of decks, and that's just going to slow shit down.
Yeah. But I'm looking at this, and pardon me, I know I don't play a lot of white and blue, but I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about creatures? Normally it's just Control-a-thon, and like you're gonna play creatures, really? Wow.
Well, so that's the thing.
Come on. Commander's board wipe-a-thon as it is.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
You can politic and option to give someone in one of those sectors those counters instead. So in this card, don't ever choose you.
Right.
Opponent 1, 2, and 3. I politic with opponent 2. Hey, you can do this, and I'll do this to someone else.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a fun little way to interact with this card differently. And I love that addition to Commander.
So
that's how I look at almost every product coming out.
I think you're overlooking something about this card. No one's controlling like the sectors. There's no like one person in a sector. Everyone chooses which sector their guys go into. Like, so it's no like you're only in here. So
honestly, that's just not correct. When it divides them into those sectors. So you, as the controller of that card,
read it.
Divide those sectors.
Yeah, I just
read it. Creature isn't assigned to a
something.
sector. It's controller assigns it to one. Opponents assign first.
Yeah. So, for example, you put down Jace, you do your sections, and then someone plays a new creature. No.
Immediately, everything on the battlefield has to go into a sector, and it's decided by the owner of the creature.
Exactly what Bob's saying. Like you choose what sector your guys go into when the sectors are made.
So my sector I choose for alpha is your battlefield.
Yeah, you can.
So to my point, folks,
then
we're having this discussion
all your
now.
creatures on your opponent's battlefield, and that's what I was talking about. Trying to get into your opponent's head with this card. This is the one thing I really like about it. You can be like, okay, so my playmat is sector A. I'm going to make all of your playmats like sector B, and sector C is going to be the floor.
Dude, this card is just going to cause so much ass pain. They're going to be like, don't play that card. don't put that in your deck.
Jace Aspirin needed
so much problems.
That's how I feel about cards like Thieves Auction. It's just like it's too much of a pain in the ass. Like it's a fun effect, but it's like, do you really want to play with it?
Well, it's kind of like Wheel of Misfortune. Have you ever bumped up against that in a game?
It's just trash. Like on paper, it sounds cool, but it doesn't really work.
What, you talking about Wheel of Misfortune?
Yeah,
It worked out super
It
well
takes
for everybody
20
I went
minutes
against
just
that
to
had
decide
it.
what the fuck the card does.
That's so strange.
It does. Like, seriously, if it ever hits a table in a game, it's 20 minutes of talking about how does this card actually work.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah, it does.
Everybody looking on their phones, figuring out
Because-
legality and shit.
I guess haven't had that issue in my group because I have the card down pat, so I'm just like, this is how it works, and they're like, all right.
Well,
I love that we're going to end up seeing 100 hours of content about this card and its dumb fucking mechanics.
Yep.
Well, what's interesting, this is
Irritating
going to be
cards.
good for multiplayer. Because
Or
you can divide.
terrible. Or it's either going to be good or absolutely terrible. Like
no.
in my pod,
It's
either
just a
this
fun
gets
card.
accepted or we say like you can never play this card. It seizes the game. It's like guys stop deck. You can't play anymore.
Well, in multiplayer, your opponents, because there's 3 sectors that breaks up into alpha, beta, and gamma. So you can be alpha, one player can be beta, and the other be gamma. Or you can
no one can block you.
Right.
Yeah, but one of the things you can do is sector alpha is me, the guy to the left, and a cross.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do extra dumb stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to stop the game so everybody can put different markers on every one of their creatures to make sure that they signify what sector each of these. I'm just telling you, this card is going to be miserable to play.
No. They have to go into the sectors. So
Yeah,
if
it's
you
awful.
designate your
What a
playmat
bad
as one
idea.
sector and they decide their guys in there, their guys on your playmat now.
Yeah.
Like,
Jeez.
You can mind
It's a
control
pain in the
one creature
ass.
from.
it's a complete pain in the ass. this
Okay,
stuff.
and try to and Mecha Gojira try to do that on spell table. Good luck.
Right?
Oh god.
It's going to be a fucking nightmare.
Oh, man.
This is just a whole
Worse than
pain in the ass
opposition
card.
agent for a
So,
headache.
so do you think? Yeah, exactly. This is gonna be like Op Agent, like in person, sure, but don't play it on spell table or
Yeah.
freaking.
No,
I'm
even
sorry,
in
Pawz.
person.
I
My
love you,
channel,
buddy,
you just-
but don't do this.
Even in person,
Yeah.
no one's gonna want to do this. The first time it happens, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's kind of neat." Fuck this. No,
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It's just this is a
Holding
card
back
that's
the
just going to go.
Can we rip that one up and toss it on the table?
That's right.
There you go,
Like-
Prime.
like thinking about the nutty things you could do with this, it sounds exciting, right? But then you
Yeah.
think about how it's actually going to function in game, and you're like, no.
Hey, how about instead of this, you just play Ugin? Like, I'd rather yeah, at least
Okay.
Fuck. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
All right,
Ugin
so
with a
imagine
Traxa?
this. Some real asshole says, "Okay, alpha sectors on the floor, beta sectors
Mr.
on top
Guy?
of the
are you
counter."
copying me?
I'm just saying that they're going to be in like ridiculous places that people are going to choose all one sector. Okay, kill all creatures in the one sector that's actually on the table.
holy
Yeah.
shit, Mr. Guy,
Well-
I just mentioned your stop deck, you prick.
Well, I
Cool.
know some rules lawyer out there is having a wet dream about this card.
Probably.
Yeah, this
Just
one just makes me
imagine if
think,
you
oh,
all
no.
brought this.
Like,
Get
I
off my
just-
lawn.
Pain in the ass. Yeah.
I just kind of wish this card was a Eggcorn stamp.
Right.
Yeah. No, I
And
hear
also-
you.
I guess
It
that's
could
the
be.
thing is like this whole release has that interesting combination of cards that are and are not legal. So, I mean, it's got me excitedly talking about this with all of you. And I've seen a number of content creators going bonkers over what is and is not going to be legal as well. And the implications, I mean, my play group, we're just not going to allow this. This is going to be stupid. Like we're all adults. We only have a certain amount of time. We don't fuck with. No, get out.
Responsibilities are
Share
real
my
life.
card real quick. Put my card up real quick.
Which one? The
I only have one popped up right now.
Is
oh,
it got the shrine?
Share
You
the
should go back to
screen.
Gather Shrine. It looks really good. Oh, those lands. I mean, goodness
There we go.
gracious.
So I
Yeah.
just kind of like this card. I wanted to point this out. Like, if you look in the background over here, right here, Commander Attack's not included. I love it.
Yeah, I read that
On
one
the dis-
earlier. I like that
The
one.
discourteous clerk and like the flavor text is fun too. Myra doesn't pay the vampires to smile, but only because guests found it off-putting.
Wait, is she one of those legal cards?
Yeah, and I love it. So it's like whenever she enters the battlefield, open an attraction at the beginning of your end step. If you control 3 or more attractions, You draw a card and lose 1 life. I like this card. It's going into my the most dangerous gamer deck, hands down.
That's crazy.
Nice.
I think I like the phone a friend the best out of all the
Phone a
cards.
friend was funny. I just checked that out.
Oh yeah, that was
Somebody
weird.
pull up Animate
what about
Graveyard,
the what was it? Photo op. That one's great too.
Real quick, guys. I just want to plug this while we still have a few people in here in chat. This is I'm ordering tomorrow 2 boxes of Double Masters Draft, and this last round is going to pay for the trip, and then basically I'm storing checks to actually pay, for Vegas stuff and food and all that. But pretty much most of the first box is sold out. I got 25 packs left. It's the draft pack, 17 each plus combined shipping. When I say combined, that means all the battles you've been in, winnings off the channel and stuff like that. If you guys want to jump in, please holler at a baller. Hit me up. The info is in the description for email or Discord or even Facebook. If you guys want to jump in and support, I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all the supporters before, but I am ordering those 2 bad boys tomorrow. So get them while they're hot, and back to the convo.
So I have this card popped up. I just thought this was hilarious. It is an acorn stamp card, so I barely care about it, but the concept of doing this is just like so dumb. I love it.
Yeah. So someone mentioned that they wanted to talk about that one. What about the doggo? Any interest in the doggo?
Well, bring Comet up, why don't you?
That's what
He's
I'm
pretty
doing.
cool.
It's a stellar pup, this one, I hear.
Yeah. I know Des was just like, bet, dude, it's a doggo.
Like,
so.
It's a doggo.
Like, not many people are going to run this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who designed this card, but it must have been rough.
Ha ha!
Oh, you.
Oh, wow. He did a Punfinity. Look out.
I think this card's dog shit.
Yeah. It's interesting, but
wrong with design.
Yeah, it seems like a fun one, but not like one that everyone wants the Jace, Space Jace, of course. So,
nah.
What was the other one that people were like, "Oh, dude, like we had the most dangerous gamer was pretty sweet."
Saw in Half's pretty nutty.
Which one?
Hey, look, you can get Saw in Half for $90.
$90. Oh, in the special Galaxy Quest foil. Yeah, does it get rid of the legendary rule? That was a question. See, does make 2. Does it say okay? So you couldn't do the legendary thing. Okay, at least they limited it there. Yeah,
I mean, it's like, let me just saw my flesh bag marauder in half and have fun with that.
Oh God! And of course, it's legal, so we will see this one in Dex for sure.
No, that card was made from Worm Coil Engine. You destroy your Worm Coil Engine, get 2 Worm Coil Engines plus 2 tokens, and 2 more tokens after they die.
White Steel Colossus.
Yeah,
we have another Minotaur. Woot.
Yeah, I mean,
wait,
break the
did it say sacrifice or destroy? You can't destroy Blightsteel.
It's sacrifice. Even if you couldn't destroy it, it'd still have its target. Now, if it said something like make copies of the destroyed creature, then there'd be an issue, But if it said like destroy Blightsteel and then make 2 copies of it, like destroy target creature and then make 2 copies, you just have 3 Blightsteels.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid.
Yeah, that is why it's
we're talking Annihilator earlier. Be like, oh, all of a sudden I have 3 Olamogs.
Saw in half an Olamog. Now you have 2. Like,
wow, yeah, no, I'm glad they got that they didn't like. You could if you there's cards that you could do and split up uniques that way, or sorry, not unique. So I went to Star Wars Destiny, Bob. Anyway, Bob, you said you had to bounce out, right?
I do. It's getting late for this old man. I got to work in the morning.
Baby Bob. There you go.
All right,
man. Yeah, phone a friend, man. I think that. Anyways, overall, Unfinity, I think it's going to be fun. Like I said, don't get too wrapped around the axle about the value of the cards as far as like financial investment as a single card. I think Alex and I are probably much more on par with each other with our thoughts about singles investing. I prefer to invest in sealed. It's far more stable, lower, it's a more solid floor. If you want to invest, that's my advice, is to invest in sealed.
Yes.
That just whatever amount you would invest in single cards, they're far more volatile. Even if they reprint the reserve list, sealed boxes are going to hold their value. Single cards won't.
Oh yeah, Shreddeemer, thanks for joining us today, man. We appreciate you. Hopefully, you guys smash the like and of course subscribe. And do me a favor, check out the description, and there's all the content creators that have been on MTG Roundtable. Go show them some subscribe love too. That's how we thrive here on YouTube, is by getting all the subscribers. But you're right, Shreddeemer. The mirror box, bam! Don't worry about it. Now you got double the fun. So there you go. All right, thank you, Bob, for joining us today, man. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. Oh yeah. So I always find deals. I mean, that's what I do in Magic. I know I don't get real in depth and stuff, but I always find deals. Would anybody be interested in a one shot, like ordering a case of Dominator United collectors? Right now, I'm looking at getting a case for 1,200. I got one box. Does anybody want a box and crack and see what we legendaries we get? I'm just throwing it out there. I haven't ordered it yet. I don't have 1,200 lying around at all. Maybe a pre-order thing, but would there be any interest? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there because that's a super good deal.
Not for me.
Crickets. Okay, got it.
It's 8. Is it 6 or 8 boxes per case?
It's 6.
6.
So it doesn't seem like a good deal.
Well, no, it's 200 a pop.
Yeah,
that's the cheapest out there.
That's like more like it's a decent price. It's not bad. It's not particularly good.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm in it because 200 for collectors for me, that's cool. I'm not really making anything off of it. So if you guys want to see a whole case cracked, that I've been wanting to do that for a while, just to crack a whole case, ship you out your goods, all that fun stuff. So let me know.
Yeah, it's a rare time ever that I open product on my channel, but luckily with my patrons and everything, I give them the opportunity to get 15% off on their on a box if they're looking to open a box for themselves. Just let me open it for you, and then I'll send you the stuff free shipping if you're domestic. So that's how I open my products. I can't even afford to look into buying all this and then losing my money on singles.
Oh God, right? I get you, man. Eugene, welcome, brother. Hi, Double. Sorry, I'm late. Oh, okay. Who's Double?
Me.
Oh. Who's me?
Oh, Prime. That's my
Prime.
nickname.
Oh,
that's somebody I know from home. So what's up?
Oh, okay. I was like, Double? Who's Double?
Hi, Gene.
I'm like, are you saying hello? You want some double masters? Hook a brother up. What's up, man? No.
Yeah, my double masters.
Yeah, no, that I'm picking up. So we'll vote on that either Wednesday, or because if I order tomorrow, I'll probably be in by Wednesday. So it'll be Wednesday or Saturday next week that will be cracked live. So jump in if you guys can. This last 2 double masters that I'm ordering is going to pay for the trip, and then again, I'm just going to try to save on paychecks so I have some money to actually get food and stuff. So that covers my hotel, the trip, the events, and all that fun stuff. So I'm almost done. I'm
just the magic. No.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be eating.
Bring
magic
food
cards
in your backpack. As you eat it, you'll have more room for crap to throw in there.
No. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So any cards out in chat, guys? I saw a couple mentions. What card did you guys want us to gab about? Please go ahead and put in the chat. What interests you the most out of Unfinity? And Chris, you were lurking. Which one? What? Oh, you're saying hi to Chris. I was like, wait.
I said hi, Chris.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. They even have a video outside of Magic that you have to watch to be able to figure out how to use this damn thing.
I love this. It's funny.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? Did anyone play Star Wars TCG back when Witches of the Coast had the Star Wars license.
No.
Okay.
No, but a friend
So
of mine
there-
did.
Yeah, so there was a card, and it was funny because you definitely wanted to find the foil because foils were rough. To get foils, it was really tough. But you wanted to find the foil version of it. It was called Homing Missile, and you would literally kind of like how you did the orb or whatever, where you wouldn't rip it up, but you would literally drop it from a distance, and then whatever it landed on, it did 3 damage to. Right?
Oh, okay.
This is what it kind of reminds me of. This is what this reminds me of, but I don't know about jumping. Like, are you gonna flick the card or like I don't know? I guess I have to watch the damn video. But
Yeah, the video actually does truly explain how to use it. You're essentially what it is you put it at the edge of a table, right? And then you have your cards, the creatures lined up, kind of like horizontal on a table, and you have to flip the card, kind of like playing flip cup, and you flip the card over the creatures, and as long as it successfully makes the jump all the way to the other side of however many creatures you want to destroy, it will or it'll give them +1/+1 counters. That's what it is. So it'll give them all +1/+1 counters. So if you want all of your creatures, right, like obviously if you have like 20 tokens and you want to clear all those tokens, like probably not a good call because the odds are it's not going to happen. But if you wanted to get like 4 creatures to have a +1/+1 counter, you can just pop it up and then flicker it out, I guess, if you really wanted to. But
it doesn't say that you have to line the creatures up.
No, I mean, there's the video. The video had shown how you were supposed to do it, and
what I'm saying is you don't have to line them up. You can have all your dudes just stacked in a couple piles.
No, you can't. It's on the video. The video you can't have them stacked. The edges can be touching but not overlapping of the cards.
So
that's
you
how
put this on the edge of the table like this, and
no, flat.
Oh, flat.
No.
Yes.
So think of it like a springboard.
Oh, flip. Oh, I got you.
Yes, and then you flip it exactly. You take a little bit and you flip it
like
up.
That.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you flip it over the cards you want to give, the creatures you want to give the +1/+1 counters to.
Okay, got it.
And so
I was just like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. Like football or what? Like, come on. That'd be neat.
Lily Hospitality Hostess. What? Let me go back to the bro.
What are we talking about now?
Oh no!
Gorgeous, you're muted, buddy.
I'm trying to keep up with chat, and then private chat. You guys are throwing stuff at me. I'm like, man, I'm trying to catch up. Okay. No, you're good. Let's see, Lilla, or whatever. Lilla.
I would just search it.
I am too much of a boomer to be that advanced. Actually, I'm not a boomer at all, but yeah. Let's see.
Well, I'm actually gonna have to drop out pretty soon too. Here, it's already kind of past my bedtime, and I've got a big presentation in the morning. So this is about it for Pat the Pauper. But hey, guys, if you're listening and have not subscribed to DJ's channel, do it right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all the stuff down below. But until next time, it's been great.
All right, brother. I'll be working, but I'll try to pop by, man. If I can pop on my phone real quick, I'll come by and say hi. But I'll be at work.
No worries, brother. You keep it strong. Y'all be well out there.
All right, man. Thanks for joining us, brother. All right. Where's this Lilla? All right. So what do I do? Control F or something? What?
No, literally the search box, like up at the top.
Oh God!
Like when you're searching for
that would be so easy.
Oh, DJ. What is in that purple drink that is happening to you?
Oh, it's because I'm sober, dude. That's why. Lilla. Oh, now I got to do.
What's her name? Oh, Lilla.
Lilla Hospitality. Okay.
If she was just announced today, it's probably not going to be in TCG Player. But
oh no, it's here.
It is.
Let's look at that Galaxy foil. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Celestia
Elf.
Okay. It's an elf. I'll have to pick it up. Damn it.
It's an acorn card, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was saying she would have been good in Pauper, but they slapped an acorn on it.
Right.
Yeah.
The Mythic would be good in Pauper? No way.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's the mythic and the acorn stamp that does it.
You know.
I just want the sticker, like the sticker cards. I want the acorn stamp, like as its own sticker, because I'm like, you want an acorn stamp?
Right, you're right. It's a mythic. The picture I saw,
Yeah.
the mark was black.
Oh,
Like
I
a
got
common.
you.
But no, but like it lets you play common cards on the top of your library. So
That's
even,
funny, yeah.
So even in like Commander, if you use this and made a Pauper deck just for that ability, that'd be nuts.
Yeah, no, I heard that.
I mean, honestly, I'm not sure why all of out of the things in the set, why that one's acorn. Like,
yeah.
It's. I mean, probably just because it references the rarity. Actually, now that I think about it,
probably yeah. It's fourth walling it.
Like,
yeah. All right. Any other cards? Anyone in chat? Was there anything? Oh, someone mentioned this one earlier. Animate Graveyard. It is an acorn stamp, though.
It is, yeah. But I mean, in a demon deck, like you were talking about.
Oh, dude. Okay.
The next czar, feed that graveyard.
Yep.
Holy crap! It's a creature by itself.
Insane. Yeah, by itself. Just massive.
Wow. And it
has mill decks
boxes.
all of a sudden became very scary.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So here's the question, right? With World Zero and Commander, what's to stop a player from playing that card?
the other players that say, no, we're not doing it.
Right, right.
The house rules apply, but that's it, you know.
Right, but what if they do the same thing they did at the last unset we had, where they're like, for a few weeks, these are going to be illegal?
That was interesting. But I think they're circumventing, like the reason they did that was to try to sell the packs, right? But now they have the actual legal cards in it, so they don't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that like decision to make them legal
That's
for a
pretty
month,
scary.
that was like really frowned upon by most people. You know?
Wow. Yeah, people saw it as a cash grab. They're like,
It
oh,
was.
you just want us to. They're just
totally
like, you
was.
want us to buy this product, which you know you can't forego Wizards wanting to sell product. That's their main thing. It's just when it's obvious, it's super obvious.
Right. I don't know.
Huh.
I personally, and I don't know, this is probably just me. I view the cards being put into eternal formats from unsets akin to alchemy on Arena.
Right.
And
I want to see this one in foil.
Nobody liked that at all.
Right.
So it's just one of those things. If this gets play, sure. If it doesn't,
Pablo,
then,
so good.
Oh
man.
well, right?
So there's a question that you might know the answer to, because I don't know if it's still being played. Are unset cards legal in Momer Vig?
In what?
I don't even know what
Momer
that is.
Vig. Oh man! So back in the day, on what do you call it? The website where you play cards. What is it called?
Spell table?
Not Spell Table. Before
Pocket
Arena.
Fights?
Before Arena, people.
Oh, MTGO.
Yes, MTGO. All right, so there was on MTGO, you were able to play a game called Momer Vig. And Momer Vig is where Momer Vig had his own card, separate from the original card. But basically, what happens each turn, you got one mana. You started with one mana, and it kept building up each turn. And each turn, you randomly got a card that fit that mana requirement. How much it was? Any card. So if it's one mana, you could have gotten something from a Death Shadow, which is bad, but in that game, but to a Soul Ring, to anything that costs one mana, it just goes on the board and interacts as such for free. But and so turn 2, you got a choice of 2/1, turn 2, you got a choice of 2/1 mana costing things or 1/2 mana costing thing. And so people would play every card they can, like in the game. They just pull a roster of every single card in the list of Magic. I just don't know if end sets were legal.
Probably. I've never heard of like the unset cards popping up. Oh, by the way, they did do Momer Vig in Arena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's why I know about it. Like a few people like I talked to were talking about it. Oh, they brought Momir Vig to Arena. I'm like, what's that? I looked up some videos and it looked fun as hell.
Oh, it gets ridiculous.
The problem was with Arena, like the limited card like pool to pull from. Like people started figuring out what the optimal things to pay into were.
No, it makes sense because if your pool's
what
small,
not to pay into, because like some people were getting like freaking like cards that just killed them on the spot.
That's pretty awesome.
Like imagine, yeah.
It's another legal card, Celebra 8000. Hey, but it is cool because now Clown is a new tribe. I might talk about this not this year, but the year before. Jester King. I hasn't really seen him on YouTube lately, but he's got a nice presence on Twitch now. But we made a fun set and it was all clowns and it was amazing. Now it is actually legit clown tribal. Stoked.
That's crazy.
If you want to put up the screen I'm sharing right now, because I know you were wanting to show these off, like you mentioned it a couple times, the new foiling treatment right here.
Hold on.
Oh.
Wow. Oh, okay. So it's got space dust on it.
Yeah, so that's the foil treatment for these, the special one that you get in the collector boosters. So they have like all the like sparkles, kind of looks like snowflakes on your card. They're what were they called? Space something or star foiling or I don't know.
Spock lands. Remember that's what we came out of this today. Is that all the space lands are now called?
Yeah,
Spock
you can
lands.
say that all you want. I'm not doing it. Get out of here with your Star Trek.
Yeah, I think the thing with these is that they're also embossed in certain areas too. So, like for instance, those green things that look like grapes on the forest, they're raised, much like the trees. And stuff
that's
like that too.
interesting.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So you're saying that in a tournament, I could tell which lenses are my lens because I can feel the difference now.
I mean, are you gonna feel the back of them with your hand? Because it's not going to feel that way in the back.
You're not going to feel it through the sleeve, man. I mean, if you're double sleeved, it really.
Hold up for a second. My question is, like, when they say embossed, if they're actually using the word embossed, I don't know. I haven't read it yet. But when you say that, I don't think it's actually embossed. I'm thinking, like, in terms of what we had with, like, the etched foils in Strixhaven, the basic lands in Midnight Hunt. We have in that sense, right? It looks like it pops a little bit more. It's obviously not like a raised thing. Like it's not going to like show that like if you look at your deck, this card isn't going to be raised higher than the others. It's a very slight kind of, and I even considered the thing from the Midnight Hunt basics to be a slight embossing because it's just slightly up there. It's not really an embossing. It's just an added layer, kind of like adding like gilding to a piece of paper or something like that, Embossing's more like pressed in to make the shape.
Right. So, all right. So they look cool. Not as cool as the Planet Lands, but I really like the foiling.
Do me a quick favor while we're chatting. Prime, can you please say hi in the chat real quick so I can get you wrenched? Yeah.
Yeah, the cool thing is that these space land or the shock lands are also going to come in this foiling. So
yeah.
So is it not just like? So is it only the lands that come like this?
No, there are other cards that are going to come in the Galaxy foil, but
because I want to check out that the most dangerous gamer in this foiling. Pick them up. Yeah. Pick up a non-foil too. See which I like better.
I'm sure they're going to do that with the legendary creatures are all going to get. Well, they all get their showcase stuff. I don't know whether or not their showcase stuff is going to be in.
I just remembered. I actually know he's going to get it because I was looking at the gallery earlier and they have it listed separately on Wizards' website.
Yeah. So
you'll see those are like money. So yeah.
I don't know about that, but
well, the space chase was there was the Steam events is stupid. It was like almost $2 billion.
It's all going to come down to like how much this product is open. Can we only get these in the collector packs?
Yeah.
By the way, okay. So it's going to come down to like how many people are open this, chasing those shock lands or any other cards that we see come out of the set that people are going to be chasing, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Luckily, the actual market for Shocklands is going to do okay because the box toppers are going to contain foil Shocklands. So you're at least guaranteed a Shockland per box.
Yeah, which makes the chase ones going to be the Shocklands out of collector boxes, right? With the fancy new foil.
Yeah, the Galaxy foils, there's a what do they say? It's like a 4% chance that in the Galaxy foil land slot that it's a 4% chance that it could be a Shockland. And so, okay. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Yeah, it's about how many people open it. But like, if Dominaria United has done anything else, it's it's shown that people are not. There's not a lot of people who are willing to chase right now, considering they've opened up all the Double Masters 2022 product and have spent their money chasing there.
I'll be back. BRB.
All right. Whoa. So was there any, again in chat, guys, was there any card that you wanted to look at from the set? Just let me know. I'll pull it up slowly.
I did like the nearby planet that we had up a minute ago. That was
oh yeah, no, I want that in foil. I don't think
that did you read like the whole thing? It
it's like
all the lands and it literally says and the other Ursa lands
and all the other Ursa lands.
I just
to
me that was
all those Ursa ones.
Yeah, and all those Ursa ones. To me, that was just great.
It definitely you got to pay one for it. It comes in play tap, but it's any land, so it's like that's pretty.
But
cool.
Again, it's another acorn card. But
yeah,
the unsets, right? That's the kind of jank that we like out of that crap, right? That's what I like. It's the crazy.
I like that. Here's a nice place we haven't hit yet.
Look, jank cards are sometimes the funnest to play.
Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
But how crazy stupid can this get?
Oh man, it'll be fun. It's like I don't know if I want to do this at a store level, but with friends for sure.
I'm kind of curious to how well it'll play with the other sets, or if it's too different that it ain't gonna play well with the other unsets they've made before.
Well, that's why they have the regular ones.
Yeah, they do. They did say that this is gonna. I think like partially it was supposed to do kind of okay with the other unsets, and then also on top of it, they are adding in the list for the collector booster boxes, which contains cards from the other unsets.
Oh,
so
interesting.
There at least is something to put in there, but it's I don't know. It's unspecific. I would have very much so have enjoyed this more knowing, and it's funny because I don't play Legacy or Vintage, and what Commander I do play, it's jank little silly stuff, but I don't know. I may just be one of the people to be like, I wish that none of this stuff was Eternal Legal and that it just continued to be its own little personal format, because then it would at least be like all this weird stuff wouldn't be so like dramatic. But like I even made sense of it or made a note to it in one of my videos that I made recently that like it's like the day that some kind of Wizards sanctioned Vintage tournament goes on, and in order for somebody to win, they need to put a sticker on their Mox Emerald. Is the day that I just don't even know where to like, I guess like competitively begin with that. It's almost is just as upsetting as I felt when they made Alchemy into Historic on Arena. It's like you could have kept it the way it was supposed to, and if you wanted to play around with other concepts, you could have made it its own format. But instead, you went, you know what? Everybody seems to be so incredibly bored with Vintage and Legacy, because like I don't even know who the hell plays that anymore. And then a Commander, right? And I guess Pauper also gets some cards out of this too, but it's I don't know. I feel like Unfinity is a wasted thing. I feel like the community didn't need an unset right now, considering there's new stuff coming out literally every month from now until March. Like, we have a new thing coming out all the time. What?
That is
why
truth.
are we doing that?
Calling you out, Ashton.
See, dude, listen, that's what I'm saying. I'm getting into it, right? Like he knows, Coach knows, he watches my stuff. Like I straight up, I've always loved the concept of unsets, right? And once I found out about unglued and unstable, right? You know, rock lobster, scissor lizard, like the whole. I mean, it's a fun concept, but I don't truly believe that this is something that and I'm speaking for the royal we, that the people didn't need this, right? Like, I don't think people were waking up in the middle of the night going, man, you know what I really think that that the world needs right now is a new unset, right? When everybody's got wallet fatigue to no end, you know, the economy is in an absolute downfall right now, and they're just pushing out product to no end and being like, yeah, by the way, you know, and everybody's defending Wizards because Wizards is a company, right? And a company's main priority is to make money, which is understandable, right? But like, do you really think that Wizards wouldn't make money if they just spaced out sets 3 months in between one another?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Like,
I
do you
feel
really
you.
think we wouldn't do that? Like, we'd still buy the product.
Here's a question for you. If you are a lowly min wage worker like myself, you could only get maybe a box a check, right? So what would you do? Would you go ahead and get not the collectors, mind you, but the brick? Would you get a brick, or would you get a box of this? Or two
brick?
boxes?
Oh, like for Warhammer?
For Warhammer, yeah.
So you're asking me specifically if I had to spend money on Magic the Gathering on my paycheck,
Correct.
if I bought a collector's box of Unfinity, or does it have to be collector's box specifically, or just a box of Unfinity? Or
I don't know. Just say you would pick, like, price point wise. Say you had $250 and you absolutely had to that way you cover taxes and all that BS on a brick, right?
I'm assuming
or two
brick
boxes of this.
Right. I'm assuming brick,
all 4 decks,
meaning that all 4 decks, right?
Correct.
Personally, I would take the Warhammer decks all day, every day.
Okay.
And that's just because I know that if I go to hang out with my friends, I can just go, hey, here's my already created deck tailored for flavor and in formats that I enjoy, and I don't have to, you know, the entire concept of the deck is already created for me, and this is just the whole general concept. But I do say that if you are going to buy Unfinity, I think the concept of Unfinity is better when I'm looking at its limited formats. When I'm looking at the draft, I think a draft for Unfinity sounds fun, right?
Yeah.
As I'm sure everybody does, it's quite literally a set where you can pull a homeless man from outside of the store and make him make a decision in your Magic game. Like, that's like, it's weird, right? But
wait a minute, you don't do that already,
right? Yeah, right. but that's what I mean, though, right? Like there's so
Here's
much.
your beer. I need a question answered. Dude,
Right.
dude.
Judge.
And there's so much. There's so much that can happen in a draft, and I think the drafts are great for the fun aspect. You're only buying collector boxes if you're going for those lands, and as previously stated, in every other unset that has ever been released, what is the one thing that everybody is like, I don't care about anything else in here. The only thing I care about are these lands. And that's why they added the Galaxy foils in the collector booster boxes, is because they knew that people were going to come after these lands, and they knew that they were going to get them in
same
way,
question,
right?
Same question, Prime.
Oh, boy. Okay. For me, personally, Warhammer, again, just because the playability of it, I don't have to think too much. They're ready to go. Plus, I recently got into Warhammer.
There you go.
And I actually play Necrons. And when I saw the deck list, I about shit my pants. I was like, oh, God.
Right.
Yeah.
The artwork is phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly, for channel's sake, will probably get $1 of Unfinity.
Yeah, I probably will as well.
But not right away.
Yeah, I had some deals before on it, so I don't know where I'm at now. But you guys want to crack a box, I will search out and try to get a deal on the draft. On the collectors, unfortunately, I just don't have any good deals on those. Super Fast Tortoise, what do you say?
I don't want to sound like a broken record on the channel, but I'm going for the Warhammer decks.
There you go. All right, Mecca. You're muted.
You're muted, buddy.
That explains why I've been getting ignored here. I just figured I was screwing up on my end because
well, F you, buddy.
So I thought it was screwing up on because this whole stream, like I've been cutting out, like disconnecting and then reconnecting.
Oh,
so
okay.
I thought I was just like screwing up on my end again. But the Warhammer decks all day.
Yeah. So we have a question from someone in chat, Pablo. If you could make an unset card, what would you do?
Not do it.
If I could make an unset card,
yeah, unset card. Yeah.
I think I would like to make an unset card that is, if ask your opponent what their favorite soda is, and if they say Pepsi products, all of their creatures get +3/+3, and if they say Coke products, all of their products or all of their creatures get -3/-3. But obviously that's a brand deal. So
what if they say Jones soda? What if they say Jones? No.
Well, exactly right. If it's anything outside of Pepsi or cola or Coca-Cola, they I don't know, they win the game.
Wow.
Some silly stuff, right? It's like there's a bunch of silly things you can do with
Cryptic Rock Lobster. Sorry. He actually jumped off to go listen to the song. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So there's something we haven't talked about that they announced. I think it was today.
What's that?
Or yesterday. That Unfinity actually has the list, and it's exclusive to collector packs.
Yeah, I just brought that up a second ago. Because it's stuff from other unsets.
Yeah,
that are in the list.
It's like kind of neat, but who cares?
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody could take the sponsorship.
Like in my mind, that should have been in the draft packs, so you could play with those cards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, draft is pretty limited in the sense that they want you to keep specific to the set that is in there. But
what I'm saying,
I don't know.
If they do it the list style, it's like what, 1 in every 6 packs has a special card in it. It's not going to affect it too much. You're just going to have fun with it.
There you go, guys.
Yeah, they are.
Rock Lobster.
Rock Lobster.
Rock Lobster, Paper Tiger, Scissor Lizard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's great.
It's so good. Coach, I got to respond to what you just said. Coach said, Ashton, think of it as being spoiled for choices instead of overwhelmed or wallet fatigue. Perspective is the key to enjoying the game we all love to collect and play. And while I agree, again, right at the end of the day, this is my advice to everybody listening, to everybody here in this call right now. It's your money. Do whatever the hell you want with it. All right.
Right.
You don't have to just listen to one person's opinion and go, oh yeah, that guy's obviously got a good head on his shoulders. I don't care how successful said individual is. You make your own choice because you are the one who gets to make your own happiness at the end of the day. But again, right, if you are looking to come to these channels, much like myself or even MTG Bob or Dual Brain, we all have collector investor mindsets in regards to what you should be looking for and what is kind of not necessary for the times, because you even come after things you have things like Double Masters 2022 did so well that Dominaria United is failing. So it's a big there's just a lot to do with the company itself creating the product, the amount of people who actually care enough to buy product anymore these days, because now the people I see actually buy product, they're buying 1 or maybe 2 blister packs from a Walmart, right? I don't see too many people just buying boxes from Amazon or buying a bunch of boxes at TCG Player or buying a bunch of boxes at their LGS. They're buying what they need for their decks because they already have probably tens of thousands of dollars invested in Magic over the years. And if they're brand new to the game, they got to make the smart choice because as I've told my friend who just started getting back into Magic the Gathering, I kid you not, maybe like 3 months ago, he was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna put a whole lot of money into it, right? Like it's gonna be very budget. Like I'm gonna, he bought the $20 Elven Empire deck, and he's probably in this chat listening to me. He bought the $20 Elven Empire deck, and he's just like, I'm gonna follow the MTG Goldfish thing, and I'm gonna get the upgrades. We're just gonna do the $20 upgrade. He's like $150, $200 into his deck now, and he's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess I could use a little of this here and a little bit of this here.
Oh,
and
my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Look, guys. There's the acorn stamp. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, God.
You get an acorn sticker.
Nice. Okay. I'm over it.
Yeah. So that's the thing, I guess. Like, I genuinely, exactly, Coach. It is not recommended to invest in Magic, right? If this is a game, this is a hobby, you are a play, if what you want out of this is that joy, great. Something I also brought up in a video of mine previously. I am too far into this financial rabbit hole that is Magic the Gathering for me to think about anything else. I see the card and I go, yeah, cool, that's a neat little ability, that's a cool little idea, and then I go, but wait, is it gonna what's its financial value going to be in the future? Because unfortunately for myself, I'm very money oriented, and as much as I'd love to play the game, I'm not going to play something and put tens of thousands of dollars into something if it's not going to be worth something to me in 10 plus years that is more financially valuable than what it is. Yeah, sure, I'll have fun in the moment, but it's not feasible. I go through several things all the time where I have there was a point where I was not making daily content on my channel because I was like, ooh, Elden Ring, and like I wanted to play Elden Ring, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that video about Warhammer, fuck it, I'm not even gonna do it. I need to get my brain into Elden Ring. I see like 3 videos online, my brain's just like, that's where I gotta go, right? But if Magic the Gathering is your life, then that's your thing, and that's fantastic, right? You enjoy it. But personally, I play Commander with my friends, and it's a fun time, but I don't even personally like Commander. I like the 1v1 formats. I like Standard. I like Pioneer. I would love to get into Modern at some point in my life because I like the competitive aspect of Magic the Gathering, not the fun aspect of Magic the Gathering.
I have a response to Cryptic Commander. I will say every day I am rustling. There you go. Okay. Yeah, that's
I'd buy that for $1.
Hell yeah. This one, this card seems fun.
Like, towards the beginning of what we're talking about here, with the the fatigue and all that, and I did make more money if they slow down. I would honestly disagree with that because the thing is, most people that buy, they're not really slowing down what they're buying. They're just feel like they're buying less because they can't buy everything anymore, right?
Yeah.
So they're still dumping the same amount of money in. A lot of these people are still dumping that same amount of money in, but then they have the ballers who can still keep up and are still buying case upon case upon case. So they're just getting more and more money. It doesn't matter if a few people fall off here or there, as long as they still have those other people just raking it into their life,
Well, yeah, but if their entire game is based around whales, then yes, obviously they have a consistent amount of income. It's not even about the whales. It's just like the whales are what are bringing in the more money by releasing so much. But then you still have the other people that are still just dropping in, like maybe they're getting a box here and there, right? Or maybe they're still just buying their few packs that they usually do, right? They're not like all of a sudden have more money, but they're still dropping the same amount. It just feels like they're dropping less because they can't get as much from every set. Right. But if you can't, I don't know, like I feel like with all of the stuff that we've seen, especially with how quickly things are coming out, I feel like Wizards could take the time to make a consistent, better set to come out and focus on QA, right? We all know the foilings have been garbage for a long while. We know that there have been several situations where I've seen personally on several Facebook groups of people opening the Commander decks or Dominaria United and having the entire deck be miscut. The entire deck. Yeah. Impossible. And there's people still getting miscuts in their booster packs. There are the whole set booster situation with Dominaria United where there were no rares in the packs. Like this is not okay. This is not an okay thing. And so they should be focusing on their QA. They should be focusing on their online presence, such as with Arena. I can't tell you how many times people have been like, oh, release Mirrodin on Arena, right? Like Mirrodin remastered. How many people would lose their minds? They'd make a bunch of sales in that regard too, because a lot of new players are actually getting into Arena before they're getting into Paper, because Arena is more accessible and LGSs are dying. So I can't find a place to play Standard in my area as at an LGS. I can't. Everybody's playing Pioneer or they're playing Modern.
That's less about like the LGS is dying and more of the fact that like no one wants to play Standard anymore, you know?
Right, but I mean that's what I mean though, right? Like I like playing Standard. There are several people who like to play Standard.
I do as well. Like
frankly, the Standard is also what Wizards still considers as their most competitive format for their tournaments.
So Standard's a bit weird. Like it kind of goes in cycles. It just like dies off, comes back, dies off, comes back every few years.
Right, because people just don't like it. Right, because like right now everybody's complaining because Shieldred, Liliana, and Evolved Sleeper have been dominating Standard, and it's just genuinely not. I mean, people don't like playing against the same deck every time, but that's not always the case. There are several ways to beat Mono Black. It's just a bunch of players who have not like grasped the idea of branching out to other deck types that are like the meta's dead because everybody's playing Mono Black, blah blah blah. And so, but the fact of the matter is that if nobody wants to play Standard, right, then I'm not going to go to my LGS because I would like Pioneer's cool and one day I want to get into it, but I have an affinity for Standard. And if I can't go into a place to play Standard, I'm going to play on Arena. And then at that point, most of my time is going to be spent on Arena anyway because they have Explorer on there too. And a lot of the competitive aspect of things, like I said, I like, are also on Arena, right? You have all the qualifiers that are through Arena. You have all these, tournament ready, entries through Arena 2 that, you can go to your LGS for as well, but it's all accessible from my computer and I can just do it here. So I don't know. I feel like there's things that can be, there were better things that Wizards can look forward to than releasing Unfinity. I think this is a it's going to be fun, right? But again, this is something I kind of, this is something that I allude to as well, is in a time of crisis, right? All we're doing is you're handing somebody candy and like, oh, here you go. Things are going to get better. Here's a little piece of candy for you. Right. And then you get that piece of candy that you still have to pay overpriced amounts of money for. And because you're also paying hundreds of dollars for a set that only a fourth of the cards are legal in external formats. So now you're just like dicking around with what you got. And
so are you saying you're done for the day?
So like on that note, like what you're saying about like only a third of the cards are valuable, like going to have any value, like that's also a part of the problem with like Unfinity sets. Like it won't be as severe here, but like all the value is going to be within like a certain select number of cards from the set that are legal. So those basic lands, those shock lands, and like the few other cards that people want. So that $100 is going to be just valued towards those rather than the cards no one wants to play with.
And at that point, just buy the singles. Like my whole concept with all of this, literally, I think since Innistrad Midnight Hunt has come out, I am one to let everybody else who loves to gamble open up boxes, right? You guys can all open up boxes for as long as you please. Stores can open up boxes for as long as they want, and they can continue to do it, and they continue to believe that this is the thing that's going to get them right. Players, they want the value of having the fun aspect out of it, which is great.
Holy crap.
Right? But
that's another thing with the stores when they do the box openings. Like, it's not just about the value of the cards they're pulling. They pull in the players. By being that store that cracks the box, the players are more likely to go there when the new set drops.
Right, but then that's because they have the singles available. But so does so do anybody else in the entirety of the world that opens a box to sell the contents online. You know what I mean?
But I've seen it repeatedly. People will go out of their way to go to that one store. I see it over and over again.
But I mean, every store opens boxes.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. Every LGS I've been to, they all open boxes. They've opened boxes because that's how they get singles to come in for their. They get singles through there, and they get singles through people opening their own boxes.
But that's
and then going, I didn't like these.
That's a personal experience thing, though. Like, that's your experience with LGSs. Like, with Eugene saying here, it goes both ways. He was saying that LGSs are having trouble keeping up with the product. They can't afford to keep getting the new product, right? But that's not entirely true. That's some LGSs. Other LGSs are having trouble keeping up because they can't get the stock of it. But they just can't get the cards in, and they're flying like the hell. Like, it's just like different shops are doing different things. Like, not all of them do this to get their money, and not all of them have trouble selling the product. Some of them do, some of them don't, right?
Right. And I mean, it's all, but that's the thing, right? Like, LGSs deep down have been in a bad spot since, with eBay, TCG Player, with, every Facebook marketplace of people just selling their own stuff. They've had an issue keeping up with that kind of stuff because originally LGSs were the only place you could buy the cards. And now anybody can buy a box. And I have a whole guide on my channel where all you got to do is make like 50, not even 50, 26, 27 successful sales. And you're a level 4 seller on TCG Player. And you can just sell however much you want for whatever you want. And now all of a sudden you can make a storefront in your own house. And you don't have to worry about paying anybody, right? Obviously, there's time issues and all that stuff, but I genuinely think that there's always a financial reason for this, right? I mean, like, much like Wizards, LGSs need to make money in order for this to happen. And already, people will not, unless they are generous at heart and actually care about a play space, right? Then they won't pay LGS prices for singles. Like, you won't. You'll go, oh, I can spend $6 less after shipping so I can buy it online, and then I won't have to worry about spending that $6. Just like most of us don't have whale money. Yeah. So it's there's problems everywhere in regards to it, but there's
No, like someone said earlier, I don't remember who, but I have to scroll up. But anyways, with the fast pace of Hasbro pushing WotC right now, it is affecting the secondary market because it's just too much all at once, and the market's having a tough time adjusting. So it is affecting everyone: online sellers, LGS. I mean, everybody. It's affecting everybody. So I feel you there. But the Pack Opening Addict does have a good point, though. People think, oh, I can make money online, sell my stuff, and then you have to realize the tax implications. And actually, Coach, you're right. I think it's that time to cash in the once a stream clip, just because cheer everyone up.
Hey, Biscuit, come here. Come here, Biscuit. Come here. Cats suck.
There you go.
It's not even just the taxes on what POA was saying. Like, it's even the fees themselves. A lot of people go into trying to sell online, not realizing like how much they're paying in fees and shipping and packaging. They don't think about that. They get into it, and it's so much, and then they just try making up for it in other ways, right?
Right, but then that's the thing, though. That is a blatant example of somebody not doing research into becoming a business, right?
And it's
like,
so common. Like everyone says, "Oh, I can just sell it online," and it just doesn't work.
Except you can't. Exactly. Like you can't make an eBay account, and after you find a Black Lotus in a bin somewhere at a flea market, you can't just take this Black Lotus and go, "I'm going to sell this on eBay." You if you don't have any kind of feedback, if you don't have any kind of reputation to yourself, you also have to authenticate this eight different ways to Sunday, and then you'll be able to do this.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. I didn't watch the video, so I don't have much information, but I did see a picture of it. So the prize payout for cosplayers is a Joann's Fabric freaking gift card. Like, what?
Oh, wow.
$200.
Cheap. So
you blow $500 on your costume, come wrap, you win. Hey, here's $20-$30 for so you can work on it. And like, bro,
I mean,
really?
That's not too horrible for a lot of people because they're just doing the cosplayer anyways. They'd be doing it without the contest, right? So it's just like extra value for them.
The thing though is that like every like anime convention I've ever been to, there's always been a cosplay contest, and they've given out better prizes.
Like, is it a pay to enter type thing, or is they're usually just free, right?
No, that's I believe there is an entry fee because
if there's an entry fee, that's
hold on. So the entry fee, if you didn't get the super spectacular Black Lotus, whatever, I think was it 20 or 40? I think it was $40 to get in.
Yeah, no, that's stupid. Like,
to get a $10 Joann's Fabrics. Like,
well, I mean,
Fabrics available
nationwide.
It's
like $200, and I think it's like $100 or $200 in Joann Fabric gift card. Which, like, to be fair, right? It's a decent amount, but I have gone to smaller conventions that have not been as hyped as a 30th anniversary to Magic the Gathering, and they have paid $1,000 plus to winners.
Ashton, I have a serious question for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, so,
how many googly eyes can you buy from Joann Fabrics with a $300 gift card?
All of them.
All of them.
Nice. Yeah, my deck's gonna be bulging. And be like, what? Yeah, I'm gonna put googly eyes on all my cards.
Put googly eyes on all my cards. It's an unset. Right. You can deal with that.
That's right.
that'll be a card, right?
And the stickers be puffy. That'd be great.
Yes.
Put X googly eyes onto a creature.
You can make a planeswalker out of it.
Yeah. It's now a googly eye planeswalker. Congratulations.
Can it be a frog?
I know it may seem like a minor thing, but the whole thing with like hurting LGSs and WotC, the thing that kind of ticks me off the most is them taking away MSRP. It may seem insignificant, but to me, that hurts LGS a shit ton. Because now everyone's like, oh, you see that Star City Games who's like selling at a loss because they buy such high volume and it gets you in the door. Yeah.
And they have deals with eBay or TCG to where they don't have to pay the
all
fee,
of a sudden,
so they can
because
take that
they see Star City selling that box for $80. All of a sudden, they think their LGS is scamming them, and people go around saying LGS is a scam, that's a scam, that price is a ripoff. But in reality, that LGS is just paying, like, selling them for retail, right?
Yeah. Well, no, the other thing too, guys, is what you don't realize for LGS, right? They have to have a certain minimum that they buy. For example, people are still LGS are still stuck with Baldur's Gate's product. They have to sell it at a loss to be able to, recoup. So it sucks. Like they can't get extra double masters. What?
That's actually a yes and a no thing. It's dependent on the basically distributor. Different distributors, they'll be like, well, you didn't buy this much from me, so you know what, fuck you on this product that everyone wants,
Oh wow.
Like basically,
are you checking like packages or
blackmail? Like some of the distributors just like blackmail the stores, basically.
Like I'm genuinely the thing with me is if I were to run an LGS, I genuinely would not predict the market when I would do that. All of my box sales would be I'd talk to my regulars, I'd talk to the people who are there, and I'd go, "Are you interested in buying one of these boxes? Sure, I'll add it to the list." And then we can get it going once they're all out. But there's this pre-sale pricing and all that garbage, right? Yeah, it's a great way for people who are so incredibly impatient to make a lot of money, but it's not feasible, and it hurts your reputation with your players if you go, "Hey, yeah, this pre-sale price is $400 for a box. So we're going to have to sell it at $450 to make overhead and all that jazz." And then by the time you get it, it's already dropped down to like $210 a box. And at that point, you're just like, you're going to have people going, "Oh, because you as an LGS owner,
pricing.
you know, right? Like, you know what the pricing is. You hopefully have an idea. Well, I mean, like, you know what the pricing is for when you get it through distributor. And you know, hopefully you would know that if you have an idea of the market at all, that it's not going to be at pre-sale pricing, and you're going to hopefully be able to sell it for a little bit more than what you bought it for, but not to the extent that you're going to get a pre-sale price $400 box and sell it for $450 when you bought it for $210 a box, and you really should be selling it for like $270, right?
So it's one of the issues is like with the distributors, like they want you to put in your orders before they even give you the pricing or anything like that. And that's one of the biggest issues for LGS when it comes to pre-sales. They can't really do them. They don't know the pricing. So they have to guess or they have to wait. It's one or the other. So and if they wait, they easly end up getting screwed on their quantities if it ends up being a hype set.
But I mean, even if it's so much as like, because there, I don't think there's often been a time. I'm sure, obviously, like there are places who are having a hard time getting product, and I'm sure that's because of, nepotism and all that other BS that continues to happen. But I truly think that if I waited a week after release and went, all right, so like obviously have product for pre-release, but then I'm not going to sell boxes until I am like, all right, I'm comfortable knowing that these are definitely going to be dropping. Once I know more about the set, I just sell them then, right? At least I know that the people at my store would be getting them at an okay price, and I wouldn't have to go, oh, hey, sorry, like all the stuff that happened with the draft boxes for Double Masters 2022,
the problem with
right?
Doing it that way, no one's coming to your shop for that pre-release or that day one because you don't have the product, right? Because
I'd buy pre-release stuff, right? I'd buy stuff for the pre-release, and the pre-release, the general pre-release is what I'd care about more than the fact that people can buy a set booster box along with their pre-release kit when they buy one. I don't, at the end of the day, I don't want people to pay inflated pricing because of BS, like people thinking that this is going to be the best set in the entire world. And then when it drops $200 for them to come at me and go like, I made that fault, right?
See,
like I'm the one who did that.
That's why you have to be able to somehow know what the pricing is beforehand. So like with the standard sets, it's going to be easier, right? You can basically say, okay, I'm going to get my normal allotment, right? And I can pre-charge for this amount because the standard sets are all the same price at this point. They usually have a few months ahead when they're announcing that they're going to start the price increase on the standard product. So you can make your guess on those without screwing people over on the standard, but that's the problem with the other products.
Yeah, and even if you do make a guess on stuff like that, right? Like it's more important to at least go into it not being as risky, because there are some people who I imagine there are LGSs who think that the Brothers War is going to be the best set to come to Magic because they've been playing since the beginning of it, and they're like, there's no way they could make this a bad set, right? But seriously, right? Like, how are you so confident in Wizards of the Coast right now that you're like, this is going to be the thing that I'm going to drop thousands of dollars on so that people could pick this up in my store? Like, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And
so here's the thing too that most people don't realize. Some do. They've had retail and whatnot. The stores have to gamble. Like, we as players have the opportunity to wait until the spoilers drop to make a buying decision. The stores don't have that. They have to commit to a certain amount 3, 4, 5 months in advance before they
if
can
I
start
remember correctly, it is 3 months ahead
3
of time
months?
that
Yeah.
they have to
Okay.
commit.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just guesstimating, but yeah. So 3 months in advance, they have to get their order in. Whether the set sucks or not, they don't know until spoilers. So
Right. So
they actually have the main gamble there. So it's like
buy 2 cases and then sit, right? Or 1 case and then sit.
No,
and more importantly, as a business, you should always have money set aside for when things go astray in such situations like this. I mean, quite literally, in this business, you are gambling no matter what side of the coin you're on, right? Unless, of course, you're a sealed investor. And at that point, you know that at some point your stuff's going to go up. But it's still very much so gambling in and of itself. And you need to be prepared for that as a business to take a loss. And more importantly, especially something like Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, right? Nobody expected that set to be as garbage, which it's not really garbage. I like Commander Legends Battle for
It's a
Baldur's Gate.
fantastic set, but
It's a great set. But like financially and the people's whole response to it, right? All it takes is some schmuck on Reddit to say that this is the worst set in the entire world, or for Rudy to say that this is a big waste of time and nobody should ever buy this. For the entirety of the world to just go, you know what? I'm not going to buy that set because I was influenced by somebody else and they told me to not buy it, so I won't buy it. And that, of course, ruins things for LGSs. But you're
that's the
still
whole cheap mentality, basically. You know,
right?
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap up here soon, guys. But what I was gonna say is I had a thought, it went away. Carry on.
It's gone.
The Baldur's Gate, man, that's a whole other thing, man. Like when the collectors came out, $350, dude. Like what?
140 now. 140.
140. Wow.
Okay, then buy it.
Yeah. Right.
Then
yeah. I saw it as low as 120. I'm still waiting for that to happen again, so I can pop.
I even said in one of my videos, like when that originally came out, an LGS near me was selling them for $400 a box.
Yeah.
$400 because they were like, because that LGS was like, this is what I believe they're worth, and they still have that box there.
The distributors actually jacked up the prices on the collector boxes for that set, which is part of the issue with those collector boxes, where they didn't even touch the draft or set boosters. They just sold those as normal.
Yeah.
Which is like, what?
Right. Obviously, which is distributor issues and needs to be corrected on a legality term of such things, right? So.
Right. That's funny though. I know you laugh at all these sealed investors can't figure out how to sell their boxes.
I don't know. It's pretty easy if you buy a 120 that ends up 300 in a few years.
It's so easy, especially with the fact that it is known still to this day that there are people, if like same concept that we were asked earlier by Bob, right? If all of us had received a Urza Saga box, right, and we were like that we could draft with, right? Wouldn't we draft with it, right? It's an experience that you get to have. And so having those things, being able to look into the past and go, wow, that's a thing that's pretty cool. I would have I find myself thinking like, oh, wow, I'd love to play a game of Standard in a format that was like 20 years ago, right? Like the Standard format 20 years ago. That's
what Bob says too, though, is like he's an investor, but maybe on a whim, even if Magic goes to shit, which it's gonna hold strong for a while, guys. But if it went to crap, he'd be like, "That's cool." Like if I have a dinner party and hey, let's draft Urza Saga. That'd be great.
Right? Because I view draft boxes as board games, right?
Yeah.
Except it's it's a one-time use board game kind of, but you quite literally have it available and you can use it at any kind of party, and it doesn't matter. You can teach people how to play Magic in a quick couple of minutes and get the general idea. Especially in regard to a limited set where you only have like 1 to 3 keywords that you ever need to worry about, and then it's just like colors. So it's genuinely the concept is that there's gonna be somebody out there who's going to want your sealed product 20 years from now. Even if Magic dies, somebody out there is going to want your sealed product.
So you have tons of dead card games right now with like the rarer like last sets and stuff like that that just go for hundreds because they're that rare and there are people who still like them.
Oh yeah, it's very true. I mean, just as an example, all these Transformers behind me are because of my childhood.
Yeah,
like they're all from my childhood. Things I loved when I was a child. Same thing with these Magic sets and these others, not Magic sets, but these other sets of non-Magic sets are going for money. People want them because that's what they had fun with when they're kids.
Yep. Right. Like the owner of my LGS, like just collects boxes of all these games he's played throughout the year because he remembers them fondly.
Right.
He loved these games. He even talks about opening these boxes in the LGS just to play with people. You know?
God, Brian. Oh, I got into that too, and there was like no local player base for me. But yeah, dude, the old CCG from Decipher. Oh, dude, that's good stuff, man. The reflector set, reflection set. Oh man, they're money because they didn't really do foils in the base set. So good times.
Yeah, it's entirely how it is. I don't think there will ever be an issue with somebody being able to sell, especially a product that is considered one, a collectible, and two, an antique. Like it's that old. Like we're at the point where,
especially one that if you opened, it's ruined forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
it's not the same deal with
ruined the box by opening it. It's no longer a box.
The same deal with the action figures, right? Like keeping the action figures in the box. It's the same general concept, right? Like if you're gonna look to get stuff graded, I don't know whether or not they do they probably don't do like actual box grading for.
They do.
They do
for Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
That's sick.
You can get boxes graded.
That.
Yeah, you can get box toys graded, man.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I'm right. But I mean, like,
I heard you back. I heard you.
Like, I'm talking like literally, like, if I were to get like a booster box of Urza Saga, like, how would that be graded by a company?
You absolutely.
Yeah, you can get that graded just the same we do get the Funko Pops. They won't open it up.
That's what I do. Because
like even if the company doesn't do the grading specifically for that product, they will still do it and then charge you a special fee for the specialty packaging.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's a good stopping point. I want to thank everyone here in chat, and especially you guys. Superfast Tortoise, thanks for coming on. Prime 406, Mechagodzilla, Ashen, Bob, and Pat. And Ed, thank you guys for coming on. We've had a nice heated discussion all throughout. It's been crazy, crazy roundtable, which I think is great. But I do have to end this again, guys. The last rip and ship. Well, I don't know if it's a last, but definitely for Double Masters. I am ordering on Friday, so it'll be Wednesday or Saturday of the next day. If you guys want to jump in on a few packs, it's 17 a pop, plus combined shipping. I have 25 packs left, so we're already into the second box. We've got two packs left of the first box, and then 23 left of the other. So if you guys want to jump in and help me out, again, this will pay for the trip itself, and then I got to save for actual like eating and stuff. So let me know. Jump in Discord. The links are in the description. And what's funny?
Oh, the eating part.
Oh yeah, no, on eating and Vegas stuff and all that. Yeah,
I need food because I'm a human being. No.
Yeah, what? Exactly.
How weird is that?
Yeah, no, I was trying to get capital up to like be able to maybe if they had like a section to buy stuff or whatever. I'm trying to do that too, but basically with this, once that last box is sold, that will take care of my trip, and then I have to worry about the other stuff. So. That's what's going on there, but
I'm going as well, so we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's expensive. Like I've only gone to a convention once, Too Many Games convention in like Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It was fun, but like I went there with $700 and a backpack full of food, right? And I wish I had a lot more money than that with me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I wanted to roll with like 3K, but I'm a mid-wage worker, bro. That's not gonna happen.
The cool thing about this is
it's a lot. It's a lot to drop where you could be saving and investing in like the S&P.
True.
Well,
that could go to so many better things.
Sure. I could just drop my whole paycheck in crypto. Sure, right?
Like, and that's the part of the problem, though. It's like for some people, they see like how some of the product, like select product, if it does all the right shit, it just explodes, and people are like, "That's so much better than normal investing." Like, and then they get they're stuck in that mindset that that's the only thing they should be doing because they're seeing the bigger return potentially, right?
Yeah. Well, and also, guys, again, if you guys are, I really want to crack a case of the collectors to see what common or uncommon Legends card we get. You know, that'd be amazing. But
Wall of Shadows.
The price point is right, 200. I mean, that's that beats everyone. So if you guys want to jump in on that, I would like to, because I want to get a my own for 200. So it's not a money thing. But if you guys want to jump in, there's 5 other boxes. Holler at a baller. I do have to pre-order it, and it's a trusted source, and it'll be good to go. Oh, you can hit up all the PAs. Oh boy. Okay. On that note, thank you guys for joining, and we will catch you next Thursday. Make sure you guys tune in, and yeah, do me a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and if you have a chance, go check out the description. And also subscribe to all the people that come on here, because they're all awesome. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.